Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Let's see. We have Teresa Buchanan in the house. Good to see you, ma'am. And we have CR in the house. And we have Gil and Mark on the panel. Good to see you guys again. We have, yeah, that's about it. Oh, Susanne Goulet popped in on your side.
Yeah, Suzanne's over on my side. Walt Rogers here on my side. Phelan Klein Wolf and Troop 1351 are here.
Yeah. And Susanne is lurking, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 10, 15 minutes. The rest of the panel will pop in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that PV will not be able to join us today. He got a job he had to do, so well,
money's money.
Yep.
I don't know. He didn't mention it was some job he had to do, so it can be whatever it is.
Yeah,
it could be basically everything. 12 in the house. That's awesome. Did I miss anyone or what? No.
No, that's it. That's it so far. I'm checking both. I got your YouTube over here. I got my YouTube over there, and I got us here in front of me.
And CR says, "Hi, bacon guy."
That's not bacon right now. That's Trash Panda.
I had who was it the other night? Crap, he's out in California. He's the one who's always cutting wood and stuff. And he put something about damn raccoons. And I get on there, I'm like, I thought you were talking about me. He's like, I am talking about you.
Anyway, we have a great topic. Actually, it's Chef Tech here who came up with the idea, but I had to modify the title to fit in better. So, mental inventory now. Discover your daily surroundings. That is an interesting topic, don't you think, guys? And we have Venerable Owl in the house. Good to see you, brother. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Yep. I just picked up a new GoPro, and I'm seeing if it's charged up yet or not.
Okay. Here we have Gary Crawford in the house. Good to see you. And Teresa, give you a wave, Mark.
Hello, Teresa. Owl.
Yeah.
It's good to have you here.
I think one of the things that's people, for this topic, a person needs to have probably a little recorder like this in their cars they're driving around.
Yeah.
That way they make, rather than try and pull up their phone, take pictures, they can drive and they go, I just saw, just you hit the button, turn it on, and you say, hey, I just saw over here, they got a new rental equipment yard going in, or they've got they're doing a construction expansion unit to some office building over here, or they've got there's a orchard going in over here that I didn't know about before. So there's going to be a whole bunch of fruit trees out here, or whatever it is. Example, just for around here for me, I got 1 mile north of me, I got a dairy. 5 miles south of me, I got a dairy. I got a corporation yard across the highway for the small town. They only got a couple pieces of equipment over there. Down in Blackfoot, they got which is 14 miles south of me. They've got a nice corporation yard sitting out way out away from the main part of the city where I can just drive up to if it's the end of the world as we know it, and I need some solar panels, they got the tow behind arrow boards with the solar panels on it and battery things on it. And what's neat is they got theirs hooked up so they can tow 6 or 7 of them together in one big old long line.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing you got to understand is
Prepper 101 is in the house.
Yeah,
you're probably not the only one that knows that stuff is there. We're talking all the employees know it's there. So
yeah,
I'm looking at more other things like your daily driving around. I go a lot of places. I'm on highways, back roads, all this stuff. And I see just random things, the little, and there's a bunch near my property here. There's a bunch of those signs on the curves on the highway that they have the arrow pointing to the right, the yellow sign, but inside it is LEDs that blink very bright. And on top of each one is a little tiny solar panel and a little tiny box underneath each one, which I know has a battery and an inverter in it, because when the sun is out for 2 days, those lights don't blink. So they're not hooked up to the grid or anything.
Hey, Elusive Dartmoor Survival, good to see you.
But those are the things I'm talking about. You're just driving around your daily thing, see stuff. Yeah, I see the stuff in the big work yards.
Hey, Bonnie, good to see you.
Like I said, a lot of people that work there, they know what's there, and we're not the only ones that think this way. So,
well, the thing is too,
probably gone.
Yeah, what's going to be surprising is, like you said, though, they know it's there, but generally most city employees and stuff, unfortunately for them, aren't as keyed in as we are as just reading the signs of, okay, the crap's going down now. Yeah.
But,
I
mean, we should all pretty much have, we're working on having what we need. So I guess my original thought was, okay, crap hit the fan regionally or nationwide or worldwide, or Tawaki hit, and okay, we already have what we need to get by on. So I just want to, make sure you're secure. Yeah. Because if you just start running around and you only have like 2 people with you and there's nobody watching your stuff, you run out to get stuff, you come back, your crap's gone.
Yeah, well, that's why I got a family compound.
Right. I get that, but not all of us do there, Gil. So
yeah, one of the things too, tagging on what you said, those little signs with the LED lights and the little solar panel on it, cell towers.
Oh yeah, I thought about that, but I was like, I don't want to go there. But cell towers have battery banks in there. You just got to be careful because you get killed going in there. If you touch the wrong thing, even if the grid's down, you're going to get zapped and you're done.
That's why you got to have the proper tools, the electrician's tools to work on. So you also check, what's hot, what's not hot. But
we're also assuming with the solar panel stuff that it wasn't a solar flare that pretty much wiped everything out at that point, except for whatever you put in your Faraday bag. Everything else is worthless.
Yeah.
It might not be, you don't know that, but how much time am I going to spend running around trying to check and see if this solar panel still works and that solar panel still works? That's assuming my meter made it to the Faraday bag and, didn't get short circuited somewhere.
Well, the thing is too, you got to realize when it comes to the EMPs, most small electronic, like your meter things and stuff, aren't going to be affected because there's not enough wire there to build up enough charge to fry it.
Right. That depends on the EMP flare, whatever it is. I mean, we can go down a million roads again. We do that every week. We sidetrack into like, okay, it was the biggest solar flare ever, and we just start rolling on that. Okay, well, nothing works.
All right, so here I am. I'm driving along. Oh, we're gonna make a left turn. Okay, well, let's make a left turn and talk about something else for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Here we're back on track now. Here we are. We're back in town again.
So I don't know how many people we got in here now. Looks like
23.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I can pull a picture up. Let me see.
Feel free to do so. We can begin with that now.
Image file, share screen. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Don't show me this again. I get it. Thank you.
Well, it's got to show it to you every time because they got. I ain't gonna go there. We've got people of lower intelligence using it as well.
Yeah, well, all right, like something like that. This is one of those speed cams in my area. Now, ironically, the one on the other side of the street, that's a school right there. The one on the other side of the street, somebody already stole the box off of it, the camera box. And but the solar panel's still there. And then we had that big windstorm come through. One of the trees whacked the solar panel. So now it's just dangling from a bolt. And nobody's doing anything about it. So, I mean, there's that. But there's this one on the other side of the street. But in that box says, I'm sure it has a battery backup and that because it's taking pictures all the time. Let me see. Stop sharing that. Let me see what else.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things to. Nick's here.
So what aside from the diesel price in Pennsylvania, I saw this the other day. I'm sitting there at my local convenience store getting a cup of coffee, and I was like, there is a fire extinguisher at every gas aisle, and there's 14 of them, and because it's got 28 gas aisles here. And I'm like, well, everybody else is trying to siphon fuel out of the ground because there's no electricity. What am I doing? Busting the glass and taking the fire extinguishers.
And Steve is here lurking.
Good to see you, Steve. Even if you're lurking.
The states that are... So Sack of Tomatoes is run by the great nuisance, nephew of Miss Plastic Face.
Well, that one camera I showed, my wife's gotten 4 tickets there in 2 years. She still hasn't learned to slow down to 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And she's like, I got another ticket. I'm like, where? Over by the school again? Yeah. I'm like, yeah. Well, she's like, but it was a Saturday. I'm like, sweetie, it doesn't matter. It's 35 miles an hour all the time. You were doing 49 and a 35. Why are you in a hurry to go to the grocery store? I'm not.
And, there are always things going. Keep an eye out where there's new constructions going on. Businesses off the main road, off the main track. Things to keep an eye out for. Yeah. Because if that's the end of the world as we know it, the dairy farm up here is going to have a whole bunch of cows and nowhere to sell milk at the store, get milk to the stores. It's going to take them a while. They'll wind up, telling people bring your jars in and stuff, and we'll sell you milk by the gallon here.
Well, that would mean that somebody is actually there. So
it's a family thing, and I would say probably 8 or 9 of them live here in town with me.
Right.
So yeah.
That's your town. That's not every town USA.
That's not every town. But you check around, and a lot of dairies don't have a lot of employees because everything's automated nowadays.
Yep. And a lot of those employees are not coming to the dairy farm to worry about a cow and the crap hit the fan. They're
actually, a lot of them live on the dairy farm already.
Yeah. I was at one literally yesterday, and owner was looking for something that I don't offer from my side of the company. And
hey, Louise, good to see you.
She gave me a tour around and that, and they don't have the cows there. They have the cows on another site, but they do all the processing there. And that's all local milk. I mean, it comes from about 8 miles away. They got 3 or 4 farms that they get their milk in from. And there's interesting equipment in there. Nothing I'd really need to do anything with. I'm more looking at equipment, not necessarily food and cows and milk.
Yeah. Yeah, and I noticed when I'm driving a lot in my work, and I noticed that we have those digital
the
speed signs.
Yep.
Yeah, speed, and those have a solar panel on them.
Yep.
So that's really nice, and we have a couple of those in this city. So
I've seen a bunch of them. They're just random. It's like a business development type thing where it's a whole business park, and out at the entrance on either 2 different roads or 3 different roads, they have the little garden with the brick tower there.
Good to see you, brother.
On top of it is a solar panel with the lit sign, and it's in the bushes, and it's a big panel. It looks like a 150 watt panel, and I don't know what voltage it is. That's different, but everything is self-contained. I mean, it's all in the box right there. You just need the special tools to get stuff out if it ever came to that.
Thank you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, special tools.
Yeah.
No, not if you're looking for a safety torque. You ain't gonna open an ST with that thing.
Well, in that case, it's going to be that'll be the battery powered.
I'll be right back, guys.
Cutting.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay, no problem.
He's picking up trash right now.
That'll be the battery powered angle grinder with the steel blade on it and stuff. So.
Yeah. Unless you're trying to be quiet, in which case you might want to get the tool. That's when you go to the local hardware store and see if they have it in there after somebody's already rated all the flower pots and seeds.
Yeah.
And now you're looking for a safety torque, which you might find laying on the floor somewhere. Now, the stuff we're talking about, again, is not to go out and pilfer it now because that's illegal against the law, and that's not why we're here. This is after there's no law enforcement left. This is Tawaki situation. Do you remember what's around you? I need this. Oh, crap. I remember seeing piles of tubing.
Hey, Pepper for the ages. Good to see you, man.
Fencing stuff at different areas that who the hell is going to go back to this work zone and take that pile of temporary portable chain link fence? They're not. But I need it to keep my chickens in that I just picked up from 2 miles away. I got to keep my chickens on me, so I'm going to go get that fencing.
Yeah.
There you go.
We got the pupper. Oh, and a bag of poopy. So just throw it down with the rest of the trash. Nobody will notice it.
Yeah, probably not. Come here, CJ. How you doing, guys? Hello, Shadow.
Hey, dear love, Survival. Good to see you.
Yeah, just doing my little poo duty.
Yeah, that duty.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
One of the things that most people drive by. All right, when I drive from here into Idaho Falls, there are 3 rental equipment yards. You driveway. I mean, the parking lot's out front, but most people don't realize what's in back of the building. All the stuff they have back there because they're driving on the highway, and it's just like, so yeah. There are going to be people who know, but how many people are going to realize, oh crap, I need to go get that now.
Hey, Marine Sun Army Mom. Good to see you.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I'd just take my dog out quickly.
Yeah.
Just a quick one before I come on the chat.
No problem.
How you doing, Shadow?
Well, I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can say this now before I forget things because it happens. Next week on Wednesday, I'm going down to Gothenburg, and my mom's funeral is on Friday afternoon. So I will not take my laptop with me. So there will be no live stream next Saturday because I will have a lot of other stuff I'm bringing back up. So I will have no room for a laptop.
Yeah.
So
I think we'll survive, to quote CR.
yeah. Yeah,
Got to give it a
says
food,
noted.
Right, back at home.
Yep.
Oh, all right, Mark.
Yes, sir.
How many nurseries do you drive by, or do you know where they're at?
Lots, hundreds.
Thank you.
But they're all run by Mennonites, and they all live there. So, aside from dealing with them and talking to them and whatever, in the Tawaki situation, unless it's a different kind of Tawaki where half the population's gone. Yeah. No, not really a place I would venture to unless I was already set up and I knew something was going on. I go around, hey, I'd like to trade you this for
exactly. that's
20 or
something
30
people need
seeds or plants or whatever you got going.
Yeah, that's something that people need to realize. Even though it is SHTF or Milwaukee, where there's no rule of law anymore for a short time or whatever. You don't have to go out and take everything you find. You can go say, all right, now it's time to go out and barter because I didn't have enough money to buy this before. I can go barter stuff now, and the price on some things is going to drop dramatically, but the price on other things is going to skyrocket. Or I should say the value rather than price.
Right.
Thank you, Marine.
What is something worth in value, not dollars, because dollars may not be a thing.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. In my city, we have at least 1, 2, 3 construction department stores where you can buy wood for building porch or whatever. You can get materials for that, and other things. You can get stone plates if you want to do something in your garden or something. So you have a lot of possibilities. We have 3 of them, and they store all the wood on the outside. So you have to go in and pick the wood boards you need, and then you go and pay. So Elusive says, question, have you guys where you live been told to get 72 hours worth of food, powers, meds, etc. by your government?
Oh, yeah.
Well, our government here says not 72 hours. They said it before, but now they say 7 to 10 days extra worth of food and water and meds and things like that. So they changed their mind because they realized 72 hours, but if it lasts longer than 72 hours would not last that long. We have to increase it.
Yeah. Well, and thing is, problem here. All right. So 72 hours is a 72-hour kit is the big thing here in the U.S. Problem is, there have been really. All right, Steve, take care. There have been some really big events, Hurricane Katrina and Rita and some of the others, where people down there in Louisiana and stuff had 72 hours and they were isolated for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, and when I was working Homeland Security, I was pushing constantly for 30 days. Put it out there, 30 days. We get it on the website. Some senator, oh, no, we don't want them prepared that much. We want them reliant on us. Take it back down to 72. Literally, a senator said, no, we want them reliant on us. We don't want them self-reliant.
Yeah, we want them eating the bugs that we provide for them.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he's gone now. Anyway.
Yeah, Venerable Owl says Sweden has been on the cutting edge of preparing their citizens, and I agree with that. We're pushing pretty hard on that one.
Yeah.
So
here's another. So you drive by these all the time. There's like one small building and there's hardly anybody there. There's all these trucks everywhere. Well, I guarantee you each one of those trucks has at least 5 gallons of diesel fuel in the tank.
Yeah.
You don't want the truck.
Good to see
you want the fuel.
Yeah.
Just always have a little hose that you can suck it out.
Well, right out of a tank is fine on the big trucks, but on the cars and stuff, you ain't doing that anymore because they got so many anti-siphon baffles in the fill neck. Unless you know how to get it out of there, you ain't getting it out of there.
You'll have to drill a hole. You have to drill a hole from below the tank.
Yeah, if it's a plastic tank, sure. If it's a metal tank, yeah, watch out for the spark.
Yeah. Well, you think so? Like, because tanks get changed out and stuff from damage and stuff, or the fender gets damaged. from the fill spout mounted in the fender there down to the tank, there are one or two flexible couplers. And if you got the little screw, just unscrew those, and then you just run the hose down that.
Yeah, there's one right at the tank, but you got to be able to get under there and get to it.
Yeah,
while it's on the ground and not on a lift. And I know I've pulled my share of fuel tanks out of all kinds of vehicles.
And then there's the fuel tank has the 12-volt fuel pump in the tank, and you see the wires coming out, the wire harness going out. It's like, okay, you're going to cut that, cut the fuel line, put the fuel line, attach a little quarter-inch hose on the fuel line up to your bucket, and a little 12-volt. One of those little small 12-volt batteries, just pump it out.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about diesels there, Slippery. I was talking about gasoline.
Yeah, gasoline. One spark and you have a nice fireball in your face.
It's not the gas that's flammable; it's the fumes that are explosive.
Yeah, it is.
It's there's a lot of things and all this is to be considered salvage. Okay.
Yeah.
You're salvaging something in a time where it's probably going to go to waste. So you want to make sure as you're driving around, map out where everything you see is at of possible use. Also map out places you may want to go back to and barter with.
Yeah.
So everybody used to have one of those old Garmin GPSs on your dashboard, and I could save locations. And my old one, I don't even know where it is anymore. But as I'm driving around, I would actually tap the screen and just put SP, solar panel, and save it as a location. So I could pull up SP and it would show me literally a map of wherever I was with every solar panel I saw that was worthy of, if the crap hit the fan, I know where it is.
Elusive Dartmoor Survival says, have you guys thought what you would do if Russia cut the communication cables in the sea?
Yeah, I'd walk next door and talk to my neighbor. Yeah, I'd walk next door and talk to my neighbor instead of texting him.
Yeah.
I'd probably walk upstairs and talk to my wife instead of texting her.
One of the things I miss here in the U.S. is Radio Shack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Radio Shack was great for this. They had the phones, you can go in and buy a little Princess phone or the desktop phone and everything else. When I was working construction, I went in there and I bought a bunch of them, and I bought a bunch of phone wire and some 9-volt batteries, and I hooked them up and a little ringer bell and stuff. And we were doing a big bore job. I went and installed a bunch of phones down along the line there, and they could ring. Anybody could ring out to the outside, or the outside could ring all the phones to get people to pick up and say, and they could say, "Hey, what's going on here? What's going on there?" And it's a really simple system with the old landline phones to make it work on your own. I thought you needed a switch.
I thought you needed some kind of a little controller for that. You couldn't just hook up a phone to phone. You could. Oh, mm-hmm. I still have a bunch of phones.
Oh yeah. You can do it. You hook it up phone to phone, and if you have the 4 or 6 wire phone line, you only need 2 wires to hook up phone to phone. The other wires now become with a push button and a little bell to make it ring on the other end.
Right. I remember when I was young and annoyed with my sister, I just randomly took the red and green wire out of the wall, put an RCA jack on it, and put it on my input on my stereo. I could hear. I mean, it was like I was on the phone. She couldn't hear me, but I could hear her, and she didn't hear clicking and didn't know I picked up the phone. Oh, I used to record all her conversations with her boyfriends and stuff. I was mean. But I also knew that I put a meter on it, and it was like 12 volts coming out of the wall. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Hey, Cherokee Survival, good to see you.
Yeah, there's and that's the thing is, the old phones and stuff, even the phones in some of the office buildings and stuff, you can take those and they have like the old 5-button phones, and some of the offices still have those and stuff.
Right.
You can take those and you can set up your own communications in your neighborhood.
Between the battery.
Yeah, using 9-volt battery on each one.
It's just, I thought there were 12 volts. I guess they're 9.
9-volt works. 9-volt works and makes them work. 12 volts because you're going longer distance.
Yeah, okay.
But then along the same lines is I can drive up here to I drive by it when I go take the freeway to Idaho Falls instead of the old Yellowstone Highway. There's an Army surplus store up there, and they have a bunch of stuff there. They'll probably be a prime target though, but they also have. I just haven't decided to drop the dime on it, and they got the old
backpack radios.
No, the World War II, Korea, and Vietnam phones where you just
Oh yeah, those phones.
Those phones, yeah.
Yeah, you had to rotate it like, okay, if it rings 8 times, it's for me. If it rings 1 time, it's for him. If it rings 12 times, it's for the general. Yeah.
Comes for UK to keep in touch with us, etc. It will cause problems for so many reasons. A device was swept on our shores. They believe was a device Russia is using to map our seas.
It was probably China. It was probably China.
Yeah, China's the one that's been found dragging chains below to take out.
Hey, Lillian, good to see you. Good to see you, ma'am.
Still got to wonder why we need so many undersea cables. I thought we had satellites that were doing the job. I guess not.
Well, satellites move data at this much. Cables move data at this much.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. But yeah, there are a lot of things to keep an eye out for going around.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's been about 1.5 years since I did the food source survey live stream, where you look out and find out everywhere around where there are orchards, chicken farms, turkey farms, all sorts of stuff. Find out where farmers that grow stuff for the farmers markets are at and stuff. Find out where and notify, mark on your map where everybody. There it is, right there. I got a mark. There's something there, and you go and some of them, it may be like you just talk about happened with the apples, talking to the farmers about, hey, can I deal one-on-one and buy several crates of apples from you type thing. And you can talk to the farmers and ranchers and stuff on that stuff as well. And if you happen to have a rancher in your area, when the poop hits the fan or it becomes Tawaki totally, you're going to find out a lot of these ranchers they know how to do their own meat, how to butcher their own meat. So you want to be friends with them so they don't charge as much as they charge other people for it.
Hey, Norfolk, UK Prepper, good to see you, brother. And hunting and stuff with J&J, good to see you.
And so, so you want, like you were saying, Mark, you want to mark stuff, but you also want to mark, have ways of marking different things. All right, like you said, SP for solar panel on your map app. And
F for fuel, and
put an FR for farmer or whatever you want around. And then when you get home, whip out that AAA map and put it up, and you start marking everything on there as well, so you can see where everything's at. That if it comes to a thing where you have to go out and salvage stuff, where it's at and how to do that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I got my GoPro working. Now you can just watch for that deer to walk by or a coyote in about 20 minutes.
All right, let me bring this back up here. One of the things that a lot of people don't do, I'm going to share something here. Share. Yep. Boom, boom, boom. There we go.
There we go.
Rental centers. Now, so this is big equipment, but there are some smaller rental centers that rent out lawnmowers and rotor tillers and stuff like that.
And if you know how those places work, they always have at least a 500-gallon tank of some kind of fuel, maybe both fuels around the back, usually up against the building or in a secure location.
Yeah.
So there's fuel there. Plus, every piece of equipment probably has a full tank in it already because they fill them up when they come back. That way they can leave.
All right. Right now, in this picture here, over on the right, that big white square box.
Yep.
That's
fuel tank.
That's a fuel tank.
Yep.
Now, if you look in this picture here, down in front, you got yourself your little trailer there, aero board with solar panels on it, and the battery bank down below between the wheels there. And so you may not need the aero board itself, but the batteries and its solar panel.
Yep. And then you got those rolling. They're not generators, but they're motors. The ones with the big light fixtures on it. Well, guess what? They're generators.
Yeah.
You just don't need to run the lights. Just unplug the lights and figure out how to wire into that and make sure your voltage is correct. It'll blow stuff up.
Yeah, and if you look at these trailers here, the green ones here, some of them are air compressors, some of them are generators. That white one there in the middle there, that's a generator. And so there's generators like that. There's some nice, looks like some nice little backhoe tractors there in the back, not excavators, backhoe tractors.
Yep. Yeah, mini X's and
So you got like here you got this big one here on the right here. That's a generator.
Oh, look, a sniper's perch.
Yeah. Hey, if you're out, if you haul that out in the woods and stuff, and you can get up there and you can do your tree stand there. But you got generators and air compressors and lifts and the little they got it covered up. The little mini excavator and the track loaders and stuff like that. Time comes, you may need to expand your garden area and stuff like that in a true Tawaki situation where, hey, the only food you're going to get is what you raise.
Yep.
Yep.
So you need to know where stuff is that you can go salvage and work with them and stuff. But there's a lot of things to look around. Some things people don't think about. And I'm not sure if you looked at this one, thought about this one, Mark.
What's that?
Warehouses.
Oh yeah.
For distribution of stuff like pharmaceutical warehouses that are keep a very low profile. But if you find out where one is, it's like, oh, everybody's going to go hit the pharmacy. I'm going to go salvage from the warehouse.
Yeah. But like I said before, you got to remember, you're not the only one who knows what's in those warehouses.
Yeah.
And when I
drive
Howie,
good to see you.
I drive up and down Route 81. There are super logistics centers like everywhere, from Walmart to Amazon to Target, you name it. They're up there. Even Fisher Scientific has a couple of them. I have FEMA super centers, not super centers, but FEMA logistics centers. The one I pass every day has about 600 generators outside. I mean, we're talking the ones that are the size of a 20-foot and 40-foot containers. They're in a container. It says Caterpillar on them. And they're all generators because we found out from the town what's going in there. And they're like, it's there. A lot of them were missing for a while there because they took them out. They take them out to locations. And then they bring them all back again. Then they tune them up and put them back on the lot.
Yep. Hang on.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
trying to find it. Where'd it go? Oh, shoot. There was a picture I wanted to share. Not finding it.
Oh, that's so typical.
You got too many.
When you need a picture.
I got too many folders loaded with pictures of stuff to share. Yeah. But this one's hilarious. If I can find it here. Okay.
Lois
I'm have to do it a
says,
different way.
yeah, I just got 2 pear trees, 4 raspberries, 3 rhubarb, and 6 strawberry plants yesterday, and I planted them today. That's awesome.
Sweet. Yeah, I'd stay away from the military bases, though. I know I have one in my area. I'm not going to say the name of it. And the things they manufacture and stockpile there, yeah, you don't want to go there because they'll use whatever they're stockpiling on you before you even get close. What are you looking for?
I got
the picture he wanted
to
show, but he can't find it.
I can't even find the original. Here I found the original one.
Good.
Let's see here. That's not the original one, but that's closer. Let's see if I find the other one.
Close enough, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, come on here. There we go. This is close enough. I have a better one saved somewhere. It's the Walmart FEMA Super Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The FEMA Super Center, yeah.
Yeah, the other one had this is part of the other one. This is Choplin. The other one's really big. There we go. But it's even bigger than it's wider. It had more stuff going out to the side.
Yeah.
The FEMA Walmart Center. On my side, if I was the original host on this,
yep.
I have that picture saved on my background on my StreamYard, but I can't access it since it's up. Since Shadow's the main host here.
So if you look like in here, this is outside of one of the grocery stores I go to, but it's a Mennonite one, and it's kind of by itself in a field. But off on the side is all the stuff that they've moved out of the building to renovate that. But it's like, oh, I need tubing, I need piping. Oh, there's some 6-inch CPVC Schedule 80 conduit over there that they use for electrical and that. But if you're just running drain water from your for your gutters or that to fill up rain barrels, you got piping there. They got all kinds of barrels, buckets, things. I mean, I didn't get close to it. I just zoomed in on it. I'm like, well, there's all kinds of interesting items there. And then plus you got some of these places out by me, they got propane tanks outside because they don't have natural gas. So they got either the real big one, which you're not getting, or the ones that are about 30-inch diameter and about 4 feet high. I'm sure you could flip that on its side and roll it into a trailer, and if it's full.
Yeah. One of the things too is when everybody thinks of plumbing, what do you think of? Here in the U.S., you're thinking of Home Depot, Walmart, Ace Hardware. Well, when I was working construction and stuff, we didn't go to those guys hardly ever at all. We went to General Plumbing, Pacific Plumbing, companies that had 48-inch water pipe stored there, 36, 24, and they had to buy big, massive bundles of pipe, everything from 3/4 inch on up to 48-inch, and PVC, glue, PVC, bell and spigot with a rubber gasket in it.
Yeah, you got the black stuff for the culverts and that, the double wall. Those are great I keep looking for that stuff, but that stuff is expensive to cut into like a 36-inch length and use it for a raised bed. Those things are like $2,800 for a 12-foot section. I'm like, I don't need one that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That is expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a place on one of these back industrial cul-de-sac loops and stuff. Treasure Valley Pipe up in Idaho Falls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I got when I put all my irrigation ditch underground in pipe and just have access points to it where I can drop a hose in and pump it out to water my fields and stuff. Hang on, I got to check. Last week, I got the one I replied to you on. I got the one that you sent to me on April 1st, and I replied on April 2nd.
To me or to Joran?
To Mike.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah, he was asking if I got that email.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other. I do that. That's why I'm not streaming this. The two channels I have are not prepper channels. One is cooking and technical stuff. The other one's my acreage. That's why I'm not really putting stuff like this and streaming it to my channel because it's not relevant to my channel. But I love doing it, but I'm not putting it on my channel.
Yeah,
I agree. You need to put on things that are relevant for your channel. And if it's not relevant, well, it's
kind of spooks. It kind of spooks people off. Going, what? I was on this channel for this stuff. I'm seeing this stuff. Yeah, now we're done.
Hey, Scottish Prepper 73. Good to see you.
Hey, Howie's here.
Yeah, Howie's here. Been here for a while.
Oh,
it's like, all right. So the Gray Man Prepping is obviously a prepping channel. My other channel, Camp Patton Family Compound, is my homesteading. Well, homesteading does a lot of prepping too.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's a little bit of both because it goes hand in hand.
Yeah. It's like our ancestors. Were they survivalists? No, they were homesteaders. They were gardeners. They knew they did all the other, but they weren't called preppers or, they were called, farmers, homesteaders, peasants for some of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fishermen.
Yeah.
And they all sang and they all had songs. And they all sang together.
Hey, Tracy, good to see you, man.
Now there's no singing.
Yeah. And they all sang some real, they had two types of songs. They had the ones they could sing in front of the women and the ones they couldn't.
Yeah.
Now, just for laughs and giggles, for those over there in Europe that don't know, the American national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, the music was a English tavern drinking tune that they put it to. So yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that one either. I would need to see some detailed facts on that one.
Oh yeah, there is some stuff on it. There even have some. There you can even find the tune with original lyrics in it. And it was another one of our way of thumbing our noses at King George because of and they're calling Yankee Doodle went to town writing poking fun at us. So we turned around with we're gonna take one of your drinking songs and make it our national anthem. Yeah, we're that way here in America.
Nice.
Getting about off of Roofville.
Cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's really good.
The 19th of April?
I'm getting about 100 watts off of my panels right now. Actually, I'm getting about 40 watts because it's cloudy, but I got the solid monocrystallines.
Let me go back and look. I did not see anything on I don't remember seeing. I'm going to go back and look at it here. Let's see here in my trash 19th. No, I did not get that one. I got the one on the 1st.
Yeah.
And I'm checking the other side here too.
Oh, I got peeper frogs off in the distance down by the stream.
Yeah. Hey,
yeah,
Huga, CB, good to see you. Good to see you, ma'am. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Yeah.
Scottish Prepper says we upgraded a few months ago the house from 4 kilowatts on the roof and to 8, and doubled the battery capacity to 22 kilowatts. Then I fitted 1.3 kilowatts to the shed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a really good capacity on that one.
Mm.
Wow. I have to go get my sweatshirt here. It's actually dropped like 10 degrees in the last hour. Now it's getting chilly wearing just a long sleeve shirt. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Mike. Yeah, I don't have any. I checked it. I checked my spam folders. Checked my
Thank you, CB.
my trash. I checked everywhere. All I have is the one that you sent on the first that I replied to. Yeah, I'm pretty good at going through my spam folders and making sure that the Gmail isn't throwing stuff into my spam folder that they shouldn't.
Well, it happens to me. Legit emails get into my spam folder. Oh, that's so annoying.
Yeah, especially since usually if I replied to one, it won't go in there. But occasionally it does. When someone sends another one later on, it goes in there. But I don't know what happened on that.
I'm thinking about Starlink on the camper van, Phil. I have 5G aerial on it already and its own router. Oh, router, okay.
Yeah.
That's good. And you have enough water, Gil?
Yeah, I filled up beforehand.
Good idea.
Half a gallon. Well, it was a half gallon. Now it's down to a little over a third.
Brian, you will need a portable subscription so you can travel with it. That's the subscription I have. Yeah. Norfolk, UK Prepper says, I'm like Scottish Prepper 73. My house currently uses nothing from the grid when sunny. I send nothing back to the grid. I have 1,660 amps of battery capacity and have approximately 2,400 watts of solar panels.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
That's pretty off the grid there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna mention something from the dark side here for a little bit. If it's a Tawaki situation or a really bad SHTF situation where there is I want to use the proper term here, where there is a high percentage decrease of population due to diseases and other instances, there's going to be a lot of solar panels on houses that are now vacant.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the ones that are they're doing it all over the country. The ones that they put up for free, and I've talked about that.
Yeah.
They're renting your roof for free, and they're sending 80% or more back to the grid, and then they give you a discount on yours. All those houses have, but if they don't know how to disable it off the smart meter and hook it into something else, they still got nothing.
Yeah.
But lots of panels. You just got to get up there and figure out how to get them off.
Magic of Healing, Simina. Hi, new to the channel, loving the content. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it and welcome.
Yeah.
Good to see new faces and people.
And once again, for everyone new coming in, we are not advocating illegal activity here, but if it's a bad situation and it's Tawaki, the end of the world as we know it, and stuff's being left out there, it's better for you to salvage it than to let it go to waste.
Yeah,
so exactly. If you think about the long-term Tawaki, so I knew where, say, a bunch of equipment was before there was a mass event, and a year or two later, well, guess what? If it's out in the field, nobody's seeing it because the grass is now overgrown on it and the trees and the bushes. So now it's just totally out of view. Nature will take it over at some point. But if you know where it was, you can, a year or so later when you're like, okay, I need some stuff to continue to survive. Let me go. Where's my map? A handwritten one, because you may not have a cell phone, computer, printer, or nothing at that point that works. And have it written down somewhere, and go get a paper map and just put dots on it and keep it somewhere special. Then you can look at it and go, okay, I remember where all this tubing was. Let me go see if it's still there. Oh, crap, man. It's going to take me an hour just to get 50 feet into this field because it's overgrown. But chances are good that stuff is still back there because it was there when the crap hit the fan. It's still there. You just can't see it. So nobody else has spotted it because there's just still anybody left. The zombies are just walking around looking for stuff. If they don't see it, they're not going to go rummaging through the field thinking that there might be something in that pile of weeds over there. But I know it's there.
Oh, no, Norfolk Prepper. Okay, I thought it was Mike's in it. Norfolk Prepper. I didn't see. Let's try it again. Let's see what's up here. Okay.
Which email? Cam Patton or the other
Gray
one?
Man. You probably sent it. See, all in the bottom of my stuff is all
Cam Patton.
Camp Patton, because that was set specifically for YouTube. So I'm looking here, see if it comes in here. But yeah. Oh, I just got an email from the news thing I'm subscribed to. Downpours in the San Francisco Bay Area. Mountain snow hits California in a unique storm. I guess the staff sergeant isn't going to be coming next Saturday to visit me.
Well, depends on how long the snow stays and doesn't melt off tomorrow and cause a mudslide.
Yeah, let's see here. All right, I'm going to do some little detective work here. Boop, 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 boop. Go to channel. Email. Okay. So I'm going to reverse this one here. Compose.
Yeah, that sucks when email doesn't pop up.
Yeah.
That's really annoying.
Boom. Okay. I just went in and sent one to him, to Norfolk. So we'll see if it. Because I know with some people, they just type it in. They forget to put
the extra P.
The extra P in Camp Patton. They use it as CAMPATTON instead of CAMPPATTON.
Yeah.
Come on, it's easier to remember. It's Gil. It's PP. Well, it depends. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going down the CR joke realm.
Yes.
Crap, I'm gonna have to light a fire here soon. Well, I'm gonna have to do it anyway. For dinner.
He got it now, so and he replied to it.
Yeah, I see it. Now he has my correct email.
Okay, CB, fire you, Mark.
Yeah, I'm fired. Whatever. Thanks, CB.
There we go. My official WWF, let's get ready to rumble call out for CB. CB at Hugo Homestead.
So what does CB stand for? Everybody keeps saying it. I have no idea. Is that her
That's
name?
what she said. Her channel. She used to, her channel was CB before. Back when, back in the day, before she changed it to Hugo Homestead.
Oh, okay.
And she was on with me and on.
Gotcha.
Courtney, White Family Farm and stuff. And yeah.
Thanks, CR. You're fired now too. Talking about lighting a fire.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah, it's her initials. Yeah.
That is what I figured too.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. So someone asked me, why did I do Gray Man Prepping? Well, what's the initials of Gray Man Prepping? Well, that's my initials too.
Not to be confused with the other Gray Man Prepping, who I kept popping on his. I'm like, this is not who I'm looking for until I finally figured it out.
Yeah. He spells his the English way with an E for Gray. I spell mine the American way.
Yeah.
So everybody in your daily travels, going to the store, going on a trip, whatever, somewhere within, reasonable distance to wherever you may wind up, if the crap hit the fan or something, just look around. I mean, don't do it while you're driving and drive off the road and hit the person in front of you, and don't take pictures while you're driving, but just glance and know what might be there. And next time you're around, just don't get caught taking pictures of things in secure areas, because that'll get you arrested real quick too.
Oh yeah.
That's why you get the dash cams. I recommend dash cams on your car, not just a forward one, a rear one, and the one that faces to each side. Basically, it's a unit goes up underneath the mirror, and you got one another camera that sticks in the back, but the one in the mirror aims off to each side as well as forward, and you can put a 32, 64, 128 gig
micro
SD card in those, and you get home, you pull it out, and you download it to your computer.
Okay, that's
don't get arrested for facing houses.
Yeah, that way you can go. You can review where you're driving. Okay, all right, that's what that is.
All right, CR, you're fired again.
Yeah, you always get fired.
Scottish Farmer, get arrested for casing folks' houses.
Yeah. Yeah, dash cams are really nice to have, actually. Yeah. But it's very few who has them in their cars.
I used to stick my GoPro in the dash, and I put a little sticky thing on there that holds it, and I would just aim it off so I could just record what's going on while I'm driving. Yeah. And if anything happened, I have it. If nothing happened, I just delete it. Use it again. Plug it in.
The thing is, though, if you get rear-ended, you need the one facing backwards.
Well, if you get rear-ended, as long as you're not, your video shows you didn't slam on the brakes, and you're sitting a car length away from the car in front of you, and somebody just hammers you. Yeah, at least it shows that you were sitting still. So you got that going for you. That's why most companies only put forward-facing ones in there.
The other thing is, in parking lots, you back out of a stall, you get these people that wait and they jump out and they slap your car. Oh, you hit me! Yeah.
That's why I don't back in. I pull through. And if I go into a convenience store, and this is a trick I taught all my team, I'm like, if you're going to go in and get a cup of coffee or use the bathroom or something, you're not getting fuel, park at the fuel pump. It's a pull through. Just park there. Nobody's going to look at you and go, hey, you can't just park there. They think you're going in to prepay for your fuel. And when you come out and get in your truck, they're gone anyway. Yeah. I do it all the time. We do pull through parking and gas pump parking. It's great.
Yeah.
I hate backing out of parking spaces. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
A few things that I do being in the city, we're not like in America where you've got orchards and all types of different produce. I mean, we do have stuff like that in farms in the UK, but being in the city, a lot of times I walk around and I just observe things. You know, we find a lot of things in the city, but, you know, I make a note on things like where there's blackberries growing in the local parks, stinging nettles, of course, you can eat those, edible flowers. And it's good to make notes on where there's food, and it's also remembering the seasonal stuff as well.
Even in the city, you got like spaces between buildings and alleys behind them where people just put stuff out there. A pallet, things that they just put it out there. Like, ain't nobody going to steal it. So, but it's still of some significant maybe value to you if you need something like, a pallet. You need some wood for a fire. Well, where the pallets are stacked.
Well, yeah, because the good thing is where I live in my flat, I've still got a gas fire, but behind it there's still a flow that it's still got a chimney. So if I had to pull the gas fire out, there was no gas, no electricity, I can make a little fire. It's still got a flow in the back of it, and I find myself collecting bits of wood, bits of wood, useful stuff. Even one time I found about 20 of these. They're like hollowed out. I think they're aluminium, but I can use that as a pinch for my windows, security for SH if I need to, make the windows more secure. Like I said, I always collect wood. I've got loads of wood in bags, chopped up, ready to go for that little fire. And the other day, I was walking along and I found this box. And
okay, that was a lot of cables.
Yeah.
And
that cable you can use for a lot of security purposes. Cameras and stuff like that.
Very useful. All types of leads. So I'm very, I make a note of stuff that I see, like from what edible wild plants to places where, things get dumped, left, whatever. Like you're saying, pallets. You always find pallets in the city. I mean, if I had a warehouse, it would be full. It would be full up. I'd have so much stuff in the city and that's even before SHTF. And I mean, but yeah, obviously, if you're making notes of places like supermarkets, quite often they might have stuff. But again, like you said earlier, we're not saying to people to do illegal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, just make notes of where you go, where there's water sources, because water is going to be very important. We've got a few little canals, also useful for routes out of the city. So there's multiple uses for certain things as well. So not only are they useful for collecting water, but there's also landmarks. You could say to people, that place, I'll meet you there. You can even codify it.
Hey, Joseph Moore, good to see you.
Other things I see, especially behind restaurants and places, are like plastic crates for food that they just stack up back there. And yes, those are prime targets for theft, which you don't want to do that either. And but I see ones that get the loaves of bread and they stack sideways, so they stack tight. But when you stack them up the regular way, that's when the loaves of bread are in there. those are great for drying vegetables like your potatoes and your onions and that. And I have a bunch of my customers that have had piles of these things sitting behind their restaurant for years. I'm like, whose are those? They're like, they've been here since we bought the place. The company's out of business. I'm like, huh. So if some of those disappeared, would you care? He's like, take them all. I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you can have some use for them, it's good.
Oh yeah. I told him what to use. Of course, I told him what I use it for, and his daughter came over and took them because she does that. She's like, "Oh, I never thought of that." Boop, gone. I'm like, "Well, I'll find more. I don't care."
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't pay to be too informative of information until you got some of them first.
Yeah. That was my problem. I mean, other than, when crap hits the fan, first thing to go, food stores, gas stations, convenience stores, then rest, because everybody's like, I don't have any food, so they're all mobbing on that place. I'm in the secondhand discount store that doesn't sell food, and if they do sell some food, the food's gone, but the rest of the stuff, not so much.
Yeah. Yeah, about the little side chat going on there about hydrogen and stuff from water and stuff using solar and stuff. You're going to use a lot of your electricity to create your hydrogen, but if you're producing excess electricity from all these solar panels you've acquired,
do something with it. You got to burn it off.
Store that hydrogen in old propane tanks, and it never goes bad. And you can hook it up to you can convert an internal combustion engine to run on hydrogen. You're gonna have to change the timing on it. There's information out there on that.
You
can also get hold of a fuel cell, a hydrogen fuel cell. So you just run the hydrogen through it. And, you're producing electricity, and so basically your hydrogen now has become a battery.
Now, in order to store hydrogen in a tank, you need to pressurize it. Therefore, you need to figure out how to use a compressor pump from a refrigerator or something that runs on 120 volts. That draws a whole lot of current, especially under heavy load.
Or you get one from an RV refrigerator that runs on 12 volts.
Yeah.
Okay, but it still draws current, and you're still using power.
Hey, Shannon, good to see you, man.
It depends on how far advanced you are in your preps, and I'm not. If I'm like, I don't have much food, nothing to really get me by. I'm not going to be running around looking for a place to store hydrogen in, and finding everything I need. If you have everything, that's great. But in the meantime, I was just looking at what's around you, what do you need, and what can you use. Yeah.
Well, Mark, you can also do another thing for compressing the hydrogen into the tanks, and that's to get a little a bicycle running a compressor and puts kids on it and make the kids pedal.
Yeah, you have fun setting that one up. Just don't mix the hydrogen with oxygen, because then you just create little atomic bombs everywhere.
Yeah.
And the oxygen will oxidize the inside of that tank so fast, make your head spin.
Yeah.
Do your research on anything building your own power stations, solar stuff. Do your research, get all the information. Just don't do it off the cuff.
Yeah, that is a good advice.
So you can just pipe it in. Yeah. It's basically just like you would do for the conversion kits you get for generators to make them a dual fuel or tri-fuel generator. So you got a gasoline engine, and you get the little carburetor conversion thing on it, and you can run natural gas, propane, hydrogen, methane, any of those gases into it.
Hydrogen won't work so well in a generator because hydrogen explodes like instantly, as opposed to like gas.
You got to tweak the timing and stuff. To make it work. But so if you're going to go run hydrogen, you got to change the timing up, and that works better on a 4-stroke engine.
Yeah, and you need check valves and things so it doesn't backfeed and pop your hydrogen generator out. That happens. One little backfire and boop, goes backwards.
Yeah.
and it goes fast. You don't see it coming.
Yeah. But when you're out searching around looking for things, is there a propane dealership that's out in some industrial park or whatever, where they got the trucks that they go around fill people's houses up with and stuff with?
Yeah.
If those trucks are still sitting there and nobody's gone out there because the event came on so severe and so hard, or people that have gone out there are millennials or Gen Zers that don't know how to drive a stick shift.
I was just gonna say they're all stick shift.
Stay there.
And they don't know how to hook up to the big tank and turn things on to get it in the truck, and then maybe modify the truck to run on the propane to get you back where you need to go, assuming the roads are in good shape.
What's surprising is a lot of those trucks are hooked up to run on propane.
Yeah, well, you got to know if it is or not. That's your.
Yeah.
If they got a diesel tank, saddle tank hanging off the side, they might run dual fuel, but chances are slim they do because they just want to get their propane to the customer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like here in the U.S., outside of every Lowe's and Home Depot, Walmart, Ace Hardware are the propane tank exchanges. Yeah, they're going to go in and raid everything inside, and everybody's going to forget. Well,
that's because they need the key to open the cage if they don't have a set of bolt cutters in their truck, or know to bring bolt cutters with them. They're not getting those out anytime soon.
Or they know how to use the paperclip, right?
Yeah, not on some of the locks that the ones by me have. You ain't paper clipping those. maybe the old beer tab or soda can aluminum thin thing trick, which I know about, but I'm not getting into because that's not a good thing to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, you might get lucky depending on what kind of a lock it is.
Yeah.
Or just raid the inside and look for the key box and go find the key and go lock it. Everybody else is stealing the potato chips and soda and stuff out of the convenience store. You're in the back looking for the keys.
Yeah. The
hey, Budflies,
just to tag on to it, we're talking about finding a propane tank truck at the yard where nobody's touched it. Down the highway, 85 miles south of me is Red Poppy Ranch YouTube channel. He drove all the way to Oklahoma to pick up. He took a trailer, went there and picked up the body off of them where the truck had died, and they had bodies there, and they decided not to put them on new trucks. And so he bought the body, the tank body, brought it back, did all the work to it, set it up, and basically turned it into his own storage tank.
That's a big storage tank.
Yeah, but that's what he had. He has firewood to heat the house, but he also has the propane fired on-demand water heater. The gas, the propane stove in the kitchen, the big, a big professional type one. And yeah, he was going. He had one of those ones that you get, one of those 1,000 gallon ones you rent from the company, sitting outside. He actually went and bought it himself rather than renting it. And in the middle of the winter, one winter it was snow so bad they couldn't get up to fill it in the middle of the winter because they ran out of propane. So the next summer he bought the other one, put it up there, and so it goes from the big one to the 2,500 gallon one to the 1,000 gallon one. Yeah,
that's a chunk of change to fill that sucker up.
Yeah, but he only has to fill it up once a year,
or not,
or not. But yeah, there is a lot you can see going around, and things. Once you start looking for things, you're going to notice other things that you weren't thinking about.
Yep.
Because there's going to be things that it's like, well, I didn't think about that. That could come in handy after Twalkie starts. Lawnmower dealerships for the ride-on lawnmowers. How many people are going to be going and getting ride-on lawnmowers? Not too many.
Not too many.
But
I agree with that.
attachments for those ride-on lawnmowers that you can use making a garden plot out there with they have the little mini discs on them, and they have the little mini rippers and stuff for a lawnmower. So you drive up, and if you get a lawnmower now, a ride-on lawnmower, now you're able to put in a bigger garden. So and some of the places that have the rental places that rent out rototillers, how many people are going to be stealing a rototiller right away?
Yeah, but they're going to take the gas out of it.
Maybe not. You know, they may be just totally. They may not be thinking gas, or they think it ain't worth it for that little itty bitty tank of gas. It ain't worth to mess with it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
elusive says
3 months later, it's like you're in the wintertime or whatever. It's like, okay, hey, I'm going to need more garden this spring. Oh, there's some rototillers there. I'm going to go get them.
Elusive says, is there a prep you guys want to get that we have not thought of?
Yeah, an underground bunker. Can't afford it.
Yeah, that too.
Wait. You want an underground bunker?
No. I'll just talk. I'll just talk to Howie and get a cave.
With the airtight door.
Yeah. But you got to get out sometime.
Yeah.
But I got 20 years worth of food and water.
Yeah. Okay.
What was that movie? What was that movie with Brandon Fraser?
Oh yeah, where they thought there was a nuclear war, so they moved underground, and then he pops up in an elevator in the back of a tattoo shop or something.
Yeah, and what it was an airplane that just crashed and landed on top of their house. Yeah.
No, bunkers are too expensive. Oh.
Yeah. Bomb shelter,
that is few
sure.
who can. It's few who can afford those.
Yeah, I'd rather have this in my bunker or in my basement.
Yeah.
Now I'll probably half bury a container on my property, a 20-footer, but not completely because they're not designed for side load stress pushing in. And I'll probably put it down low enough so it's a walkout exit, just to store things in.
The just because everyone talks about this and nobody realizes the way around it. If you are going to bury a cargo container or two, one of the things that you can do is you use some 4-inch channel iron and weld 3 pieces of it along the side of it. That'll help reinforce it. But what works better is you make soil cement and you pour it in 2-foot lifts at a time. That way, it's not the bottom one's solid. You pour the next one, and you pour the next one. They're all solid, so they're not pushing in. They're pushing down.
Yeah, put internal supports like the things they use in tractor trailers that are what they pressure out to keep loads from shifting. Put those in there temporarily while you're doing it so the concrete has time to settle and harden.
Yeah.
Then you can release it. But then you might have water issues depending on where you live. So
yeah, exactly.
Make sure you seal the bottom because the bottom is just wood on top of cross supports, and that's it.
Unless you get there are two types. There's ones that are have the wood floors, and then there are the rarer ones which have a solid metal floor.
Yeah. That's like the insulated ones with the refrigeration unit on it, the freezer units. They're thicker. I don't know what the bottom is on those, but well, just get your tractor, push it on its side, and weld some steel plate on there and flip it back. You're good.
Well, that's the other thing too. Cargo containers. If like you showed the pictures of those trucks sitting around, if there's a truck sitting around and a low bed trailer on it, and it ain't moved. The fuel's still in it. Nobody's hit it yet. Hey, take it home. And then at times go out and grab a cargo container, bring it in to your place.
Assuming,
If you have
you
land.
live near a port where you can find one, or a reseller where that's where you got to keep track of. You know where it is, but not high on my priority list to go get a truck.
Walmart have like 24 of them behind most of the Walmarts and back.
Oh yeah, and they're full of stuff like patio furniture and that.
Yeah, seasonal stuff. That's where they store their season. They don't ship it back anymore. They put it in their cargo containers and they bring it back on seasonal go around. They bring the stuff back out.
That's why they don't put stuff on sale anymore. End of the season, it just disappears. Yes,
Myra. Methane is one that's viable. We've talked about that 2 weeks ago on my Survival Saturday, and then also Reed in REED -IN was talking about setting up a methane place for his. He's got solar all over his place, and he wants to get a methane producer set up there.
You still need the compressor and all that, and the tanks to store it in.
Yeah.
Oh, dummy me. I don't know if you have these over there and over across the pond there in Europe. RV travel trailer stores.
Yeah.
Because if you have some land and all of a sudden you got all your relatives are coming out of the woodworks, it's like, okay, stop by and grab an RV trailer for you to live in.
Yeah.
That's assuming they have a truck to pull it with.
Yeah. Or if you're going to need to hire farm laborers to help you grow more crops and stuff, and to do exponential increase of gardening, get some travel trailers, set them up. All right, here you guys can live here. Here's where you guys can live. You start working this section here. We all work together. We grow 10 times as much food as we need. Then we barter food for other things.
Just built another raised bed today out of old wood. I put them where there is no soil, so I make the mistake out of the space for growing in the garden. Yeah.
Yeah, spent food, not spend food. Come on, CR, get with the program.
You're fired again for misspelling. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that one, CR.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, CB.
Well, I am now charging 2 GoPros, 3 batteries, and my laptop off my Jackery. I have nothing out here. My laptop was down to 20%. I'm like, all right, time to sacrifice the Jackery power for a little bit. I only need it for a light tonight in the cabin, so not running the fridge. I didn't bring enough stuff with me to fire the fridge up. It's not that hot out.
Autocorrect do me again.
Yeah. Keep blaming Siri and the AI. It's all their fault. Yeah.
Oh crap! Yeah, Suzanne Galay just sent me a couple of emails of scary stuff dealing with the jibbity jab and the ramifications of it.
I was thinking those construction companies they have here in Sweden, at least, they have trailers. They have a toilet and kitchen in things like that. Those are really nice.
Yeah.
Nice to have one and use that as a bug out location. Cabin or whatever you want to call it. But that would be nice. An extra. If you can afford to buy one.
Yeah. So here it's big in the U.S. because the U.S. is so big and people travel all over the place. And so the Camping World, RV centers, and stuff like that, Well, not only do they sell the trailers and the RV, the self-propelled RVs, the Class C's, the Class A's and stuff. They also have like a warehouse full of, you want to upgrade your refrigerator, your 12-volt refrigerator? Here you go. You want to upgrade your stove in it to a bigger one with a bigger oven or whatever. So you got all the propane equipment and stuff there. So yeah, that's some other places to keep an eye on for supplies in Milwaukee when everything's been abandoned and it needs to be salvaged and put to use again.
Elusive has a question for me, actually. What is the prepper situation line in Sweden? Is there a lot? There are some people who call themselves preppers. Some people say they are not preppers, but they technically are because they said they have some form of preparedness. So I call them preppers anyway. Yeah. So at least 40%, if I remember it, 40% has some form of preparedness here in Sweden, at least, and the rest of the country has not. So,
yeah, it's because of the TV shows, Doomsday Preppers, and the mainstream media making preppers out to be Looney Tunes here in the U.S. There's a lot of people that refuse to call themselves preppers. They just I'm just self-reliant.
Yeah.
And then there are those that just say, yeah, I don't want to be a full-blown prepper, but I do have 3 months worth of food.
Yeah, and some people here call themselves survivalists. So
yeah.
I'm not a prepper. I'm just prepared. I mean,
there are.
If I get snowed in for 3 days, I'm not worried about it. I might run out of beer. That's about it.
There are a few who call themselves preppers here.
Yeah, that's a term coined by the mainstream media to make people who look at the world in a different view look bad.
Yeah, well, actually, okay, it was the Survivalist was getting all the bad press here in the U.S. And so those that were quote survivalists, well, we got to change our name. We're going to start calling ourselves preppers.
Yeah, the ones that were running
media
around.
Goes, ooh, there's a new target now. We're going to pick on preppers.
Yeah, those are the ones that lived on their own little compound for the last 30, 40 years, did their own thing, didn't bother anybody, was off the grid, with or without electric, and would occasionally be seen wearing camo, carrying a hunting.
Hey, Bob, 942. Good to see you.
And all of a sudden, they're put under the spotlight of, oh, look at this whack job. Oh no, yeah, he's out to kill. And then the movies came out, and yeah.
When it comes to wearing camo, the only time I wear camo is when I'm going hunting deer. That's it.
I think I have a camo hat. That's about it.
Yeah.
I don't have camo. I have green. I have things that are the color green, but I'm not overly concerned about it.
Yeah, that's a sorry state right there.
Oh yeah, I agree. Definitely.
Yep.
That's really
there's a lot of cities like that. And that's the problem. When it happens, it's all going to happen in the cities first.
Yeah.
And then they're going to try to, I'm leaving for the country. No, you're not. We've had this conversation every week.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to hike out. You're going to hike out to the country. You're going to get about halfway through the city. You're going to be starving to death.
Yeah. I'm moving to the wilderness. There's not going to be any wilderness. What were you thinking? You're going to walk 1,000 miles out to Montana in the middle of nowhere and start from scratch? Good luck.
Yeah. Even in California, you got Los Angeles, and then on the eastern border of the suburbs, Glendale, Pasadena, Tujunga, and stuff. Then you start the Angeles National Forest. Well, that national forest is not a place to thrive and live.
No. You got to fight off the You got to fight off the bobcats and the mountain lions first.
Yeah. Definitely.
There's not a lot of stuff growing there other than trees and manzanita bushes and scrub oaks.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
What's up, Bob?
What's up, guys?
Hey, Bob.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is fill that gap. If there's a disaster or anything, fill the gap with your own stuff before government aid or charities arrive to help. Just that's priority right there. Make sure that you and yours are going to drink clean water, have enough to eat. That's the most important part. Fill that gap. That's to start with. No matter what they call us, call us whatever, But.
Yeah, and Huga says it's the zombie idiots that got their weapons training from video games and TV that you have to worry about. Yeah. Be right back in 15 to 30 minutes. Food's cooked. Okay, no problem, no fork. Bon appetit. And now CR get hungry probably because of that.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, I'm reading Elusive Dartmoor Survival's comment there. And that is just so, that just screams reality. That is, a simple thing, a water pipe breaking or whatever, something going on to it, the water's out for several days. There's going to be it took the water company 2 days for them to start bringing bottled water to customers.
Yeah.
That was denial on the water company's part. Oh, we'll have it fixed in a day. Oh, we'll fix it. We'll have it fixed by tomorrow. Oh, shit, we better get water out to them.
Yeah, and when they realize it takes longer to fix the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gil, I had a situation like that recently. The city water was going to do some maintenance, and they notified us. Water was shut off, but you know what? I just still had water to brush my teeth, make my coffee, clean myself, everything. No problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unlike my wife, where she was home and these crews were putting their fiber optics under the road. And they sent somebody out to mark the stuff. Yeah, they went right into the middle of an 8-inch main coming into my area. And my wife had shampoo in her hair. She was not happy. I came home and saw these people on the side of the road, just water flowing down in between the houses into the field. And they're all standing there scratching their head. I'm like, oh, that can't be good. Yeah, we had no water for about 10 hours.
Yeah.
I had to go get the jugs of water out of the basement and be like, all right, put your head over the sink. We'll rinse you off.
Yeah. What is the title of today's live, Shadow?
Actually, it's mental inventory now. Discover your daily surroundings. Actually, it's Mark's idea for this topic, but I modified the title to fit in better.
Yeah, my title was a little lengthy, but yeah. No, it's basically what's around you in your daily travels. What do you see? Are you keeping track of it for just in case, crap hits the fan and you now know where, okay, I know 2 blocks away, there's one of those traffic cams with a solar panel and a little metal box under it. It's like, okay, well, at least I know where I can get a solar panel and maybe a battery and a controller. But we're not talking like the day it happens. Oh, maybe the day it happens, but a little time after, when everybody's at the grocery stores trying to get whatever food's left, you're out there going, I got food. I'm going for the solar panels now.
Yeah.
But don't do
Good
that
thinking.
During normal times, because you will get arrested and it is a crime. It's called stealing.
Yeah.
We're talking about after we're into a full-blown severe SHTF or TWACI situation where it's salvaging something that's no longer being used.
Yeah. So basically, when that happens, we take the things that are not in use anymore and use it for ourselves.
Yeah. Keep it from sitting there and rotting and rusting away.
Yeah, keeping track of what's around to scavenge later versus going out blind and trying to find
family,
stuff.
good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see you, Bushcraft family. I was flushing my toilet with my water, but outside people around me were using the bottled water to do that.
Yeah, there's a good use of potable, drinkable water. Let's flush the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
you know, it's odd, but
good to see you.
In my suburban setting, I keep my eyes out for dead tree branches and dead trees all around, because that's dry wood just sitting there waiting. And when the dry branches fall off the trees and land on the sidewalk, that's mine.
I bring it home and I use it for fuel. Property. I'm looking at 14 acres of trees with lots of dry branches everywhere. You can come take what you want. You can take it all. Well, not all of it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to drive about.
That's one of the things that I keep. I just keep my eyes open for that kind of stuff. Sources of fuel, for cooking.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking. Like people in the city, like Durlove's in the city, and that's like, okay, well, behind like restaurants, alleys, stuff like that, there's pallets. I mean, usually there's pallets, things, just junk that people throw out the back door, but a lot of times it's made of wood. Mm-hmm. The little crates that some of your whatever you order from Amazon came in or from whatever.
Yep.
They just chuck it in the alley by the garbage cans, but nobody's going to take it because it hasn't been broken down. But there's just wood laying there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I like what back up there. What I'm going to mispronounce the name. Leselot Jepson.
Leselot Jepson.
Yeah. I will look for a dog. If you live in an apartment where you can't have a dog now, keep an eye out for where security companies are, because sometimes they have dogs and stuff. And if everybody's going away and they've left the dogs there by themselves.
Oh, yeah. Just don't say, hey, that one's mine, and it kills you. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I got to be careful about security dogs and stuff. And, the dog pound or whatever, the animal shelter, whatever you want to call it. You need to find one that'll bond with you.
Yeah, exactly.
In a good way.
In a good way.
I'm bonded with you. I'm bonded with you.
Yeah, not a dental bond to your privates. Yeah, that's a bad bond.
Yeah, bad day.
Yeah. And you will be a soprano for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's when the dog becomes food.
Kick-Ass 2. The character that Jim Carrey was playing when he had the dog. The command in German for Wiener Social, whatever it was, he would say the dog would latch on. Oh.
Yeah, I also keep an eye open for
warrior.
Apple trees.
Good to see you, brother.
Different things like that. Hey, Slingshot. Different things like that. Apple trees, rhubarb. I mean, you name it. Wild strawberries, wild blackberries. They're all around if you open your eyes and you look for it.
Yeah. It's what I posted pictures earlier before you came on. I mean, I drive around. I'm everywhere. And I just see things, and I'm like, huh. Well, crap hit the fan.
I know you're everywhere.
I know. I was in your yard. I know.
You're everywhere. You son of a! He pulled up one of my my earwig traps. That freaking raccoon over there.
I'm a pile of bacon right now because CR's watching. And he's getting hungry.
Yeah, he always get hungry.
CR comes on. I
leave the IDs. Here we go again with his jokes.
Well, just remember there, Mr. Raccoon, I got a basement and I can make you into the best long pork sandwiches you've ever seen.
Hey, I got 14 and a half acres and a backhoe.
That works.
Nobody will know.
Yeah.
Fertilizer's a wonderful thing.
Or you use your fish sauce you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some tasty stuff. Thank you for that. Can you put something? Can you add a little teriyaki sauce next time? The soy was a little salty.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
Gary,
found out the
good to
fish
see you.
sauce they went for that right away. So I used soy sauce and cooking oil and all that, and one corner one away from the house. My lights were tripping off all night. I'm like, what the heck? There's a raccoon out there, and he pulled it out of the ground, and I guess
there's Mark in the back. There's Mark in the backyard in his raccoon outfit, drinking out of the bottle again.
I tell you what, I'm going to do one of those Silence of the Lambs things with you, buddy. You're going down in the dry well in the basement.
The dry well. You must pet the pup or whatever that is. Yeah.
Puts the lotion on its skin.
That's right. Puts the lotion on. That's it.
That's where you're going, buddy.
Thanks.
Watch it.
Love you too, Bob. I'm going to get your neighbor's wife's phone number here and change the name of my phone to Bob and start calling her. Oh, he took the headphones off. He doesn't want to hear it.
All right. Let's see if I can get this up here. So we had a lot of people. Belt Loop's here.
Yeah, Gary's here.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Like every other channel is prepper this, prepper that, prepper this, prepper that. It's like, that's great. Most of them sell things in their store, and that's all they're about. So 5-8 years ago, prepper channels were not a lot, but some of them were pretty cool. And then 50,000 more came in, and they all started selling stuff.
Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Sweet
for those that just came in, I want to share something again here. And I've added some more pictures for those of us that saw it before.
We're back to the rental company. There we go.
Rental company, generators, lifts, deer stand, portable deer stands. But generators, air compressor, little forklifts, the construction aero boards with solar panels on them. Little backhoes, little, all sorts of cool things. But then, nowhere the unusual plumbing supplies. Not Home Depot, not Lowe's, the other ones that have a lot of good plumbing supplies.
Heck, you can even if you find a plumbing truck abandoned, there's all kinds of stuff in those.
Yeah. Well, I like this one here. You got Plumber Supply Company, and then next door or in the same, little mini mall, you have Baines Electrical Supply. Ooh. Double right there. I think.
Yeah, except all that copper wire is locked up, so you have to find the key to get that out.
Yeah.
Well, here's a thing. Like when I'm trying to make those a lesson learned. When I'm trying to make those earwig traps.
Yeah.
If you've got food stored in a food bucket or whatever, don't underestimate the wildlife, man. If they want to get your food, they're going to get your food if you got it buried and hidden somewhere. They're going to get it if they're hungry.
It better be in a steel barrel with a steel ring and waterproof. Yeah.
Something. Exactly. Because, man, if there's a way to get at your food storage, tucked away, wildlife is going to find it and they're going to take it,
That's why my cabin where I'm sitting right now is, I have a 55-gallon drum in there. I bought it. It was a food grade barrel, had the metal clamp down ring and a solid top on it. And that's where I keep all my freeze dried food.
Yeah.
I put it in there and I just lock it down. I'm good. It's my nightstand at night. I keep my fan and stuff on there, but I know where my stuff is, and I'm not even worried about ants or spiders getting in there. And you can't really smell it anyway. I don't have any problems with vermin around here. The occasional mole or mouse I see, I'm like, oh no, you're out of here. I don't need a mouse getting in there just for the heck of it.
Yeah, my daughter had a bad thing with mice last week. She found out about it last week. She had some of those yellow, black and yellow, 27-gallon storage containers you get from Home Depot, Lowe's, and stuff.
Yep, chewed right
And
through.
she had the big 20-pound boxes of spaghetti, rotini,
Ooh.
and elbow macaroni in there, and she had them stacked up. Well, she didn't realize that the upper ones were causing the bottom one to bow out a little bit, and the lid was no longer seated tight. And all she noticed is black gooey stuff, around where the thing is. Well, the mice were going in there and they were eating the macaroni.
Oh, naughty.
Well,
yep.
If the food's already gone, leave the bucket alone, throw some antifreeze in there, and get them something to drink.
Well, there were several other 20-pound boxes of spaghetti and stuff that weren't touched.
Sorry,
So
it's mean, Bob. I know, but I do what I do.
Yeah. And she pulled out the other boxes.
Oh, you're definitely
in one box. They ate that one box all up.
Yeah,
you're definitely going to my basement. Yeah.
I got out to the cabin today, and I keep some 6x4, whatever, 2x6 or 2x8s by like 18 inches long up against the side of the house on my deck here. And I'm like, okay, I got to move those because that's where my toilet goes. I moved those over, big black ants. I was like, oh, hell no. So I got my mixture of borax and sugar, didn't even put water in it. I just sprinkled it on top where they all were. It can sit on the side of on the porch here. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just borax. And because I already had ants in the building once. I don't need them in there again.
I get that. Long as they're outside, we're cool. When they come in the house, we ain't doing that.
All bets are off.
That will not happen.
All bets are off.
They will probably convince you to let them in, but that will not happen.
Well, I cut down that cherry tree in the backyard. That took care of about 90% of my ant problem in the house.
Yeah.
Because the inside of that cherry tree was rotten, and they had a nice little home in there. Then I found a bunch of rotten wood laying underneath the deck, and on and on and on. And I burned all that stuff up, and most of my ant problems are just done.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And here we
So
have
stuff like this, I see everything. They're running. That's hollow tubing. It's for them running
gas pipe.
Yes.
Whatever, but it's hollow. So you know what? If that's laying on the side of the road somewhere, nobody's going to take it. And I need to move water from one place to another, not necessarily potable water, because I don't know what that polyethylene, whatever it's made out of, and all kinds of bug resistance and things. But if I need to move water to a tank to, flush toilets and that, there's a roll of tubing. And you got orange, that's gas. We got blue and yellow. That's for all the network cables and the fiber optic stuff, and they're all hollow.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, it's tubing. I need to move stuff. I need to move water from a pond or something that's 1,000 yards away to a storage tank, and I can start a siphon feed going, and at least I'll have water for something. Now, whether it's drinkable or not, at the point you're at that point, you're going to drink it, period. You might run it through some kind of a charcoal filter, but yeah. So this is stuff I just see randomly sitting on the side of the road, and there's nothing around. It's just sitting there by itself, but they stage it there for while they're doing the underground work. They just stage it in places. But, if it hits a fan, they're not going back to put more underground cable, and those rolls are just sitting there.
CR, what would you use cooking oil for?
Cooking.
Yeah.
Oil lamps.
Oh, use cooking oil? No, that's for you can make.
He's creative.
Your own biodiesel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every restaurant.
Yeah, he's creative. You never know. He's a.
Oh yeah.
CR is a smart guy. He might have 100 other uses. Let's hear it, CR.
Yeah. I mean, every restaurant has a giant tank or drums or something out back if they deep fry stuff. And there's always signs on it, it's ill theft to take this because the company that put the barrel there wants the oil to make their biodiesel.
And most cooking oil I would not consume because it's nasty, chemically treated, that's bad for people.
Yeah.
You could filter it out and make an oil lamp.
Yeah. How many people have train tracks around?
Oh,
Me. Lots.
We have.
Wait, CR.
Okay.
That's strike.
And do any of those train tracks go near a coal-fired electrical plant? The lines in Contra Costa County, there's one line. It's about 30 miles long, and all it does is goes to a coal-fired electrical plant. You can walk that line, and there's always coal laying along where the hoppers didn't close all the way, or they're overfilled and stuff bounced off. Hey, you got a lot of coal there.
You just got to walk around, pick it all up.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, CR. You got to strike one.
Oh, we've already fired
strike
him
one.
6 times.
And CR is so fired. His resume is gone.
No, he's still fired. He's well done.
Yeah.
Stick a fork in him. He's done.
Yeah.
Okay, Gary, no problem. Thanks for
He's not
stopping by.
fired
I
anymore. He's
appreciate it.
charbroiled.
Well,
No,
fellas,
I have not
my
a ghost
missus is
behind
home.
me.
It looks like a flicker above your head there from you got a ceiling fan going somewhere in the house.
Yeah.
It's the shadow from that.
Yeah.
Bailing out,
Well, fellas,
Bob.
missus
You
is
go
home.
by.
I'm gonna bouncing out. Yep. All right. Take care, fellas.
Yeah, Bob.
Rock on.
Take care.
He's on a hot streak. Okay.
This sounds bad, but I have looked at those portable solar lights they put in
Yeah.
parking lots or construction sites. Yeah.
Those are generators. Generally, those are either 120 volt or 240 volt. Occasionally, some of those generators are 3-phase 460 because they use those sodium lights on it and stuff. But someone who knows electricity, you got a 3-phase generator. And the person who's a good electrician, they can change it back to run to pull off
Single
phase 220 and or 240 and 120. Yeah.
Bushcraft says the ghost walked past the door. I think that was the missus.
Yeah.
I add flair to this street. Having a wagon, wheelbarrow, or something to carry those goodies back to your place is important. Yeah, I agree.
And that's something else to pick up that's been abandoned from landscaping companies.
Yeah.
Their wheelbarrows or their rotor tillers and stuff. But
Just
Home
get- just
Depot,
get-
those.
Just get the wheelbarrow that has 2 wheels on the front. So you're not constantly playing balancing games. You just have to be able to balance the weight so you can lift it up and walk forward or drag it backwards.
There is something cool around here. They're hooked up where you can have a handle on it, you can pull it, or they change the handle out so you can hook the toe behind a ride-on lawnmower.
Yep.
4-wheeled wheelbarrows that have a either the quote balance dumping or they have a
Electric tilt or a mechanical lever dump.
mechanical jack tilt on it to dump stuff out.
Yeah. Mechanic shops would have goodies. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gorilla cart.
So here's another thing. I have a picture, but it didn't come out very well. Every car dealerships, and now these days there's like hardly any gas in it. Yep, somebody already poked holes and took whatever gas is in them. Well, guess what else every car has? Battery.
Yeah. Battery and fuel. If you're lucky.
If the fuel's gone and there's just batteries left there, and usually the batteries, they don't die. They got the computers that monitor the battery will shut themselves down if it gets below a certain threshold, so you don't have a dead battery. But you just got to match them up and make sure that you got the right batteries. But if you only need 1 or 2 if you find some solar panels somewhere and you need more batteries for it, well, there you go. Find a dealership, find a junkyard. You can find just about anything, and just make sure the batteries are good.
Yeah.
Dealership. What do the new cars have in them besides gasoline and a battery that you want to salvage?
Alternators.
I was thinking practically brand new motor oil.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All you just need to do is swing by Harbor Freight, get that little hand crank thing, stick that little hose down the dipstick tube, and just pump the oil out.
I was thinking more like those luxury seats, so I can go get me a GameCube or something and hook up my jackery, so I have a comfortable lariat seat to sit, a leather seat to sit in while I'm playing video games and while the world is ending. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Hey, not too far wrong there. We went to a junkyard back when we were teenagers. When my cousin and my younger brother each got a pickup used. My dad and his dad went to Utah, picked up one for like $350 and $450. 3/4 ton pickups, and brought them back to California. Those things lasted for years and years and years. Yeah. But they went to the junkyard and pulled the bench seats out of some other pickups and put a camper shell on their pickups and put bench seats in the back for more people to ride in the back of their trucks. But but hey, granted, all right, you got to understand these. My brother, my cousins, until they were married, even after they were married, they were still working on the 7-story treehouse we had at my grandmother's place. We had so many pickup bench seats in there. We hauled up the side, put into a new room and stuff up in there. It was absolutely hilarious what was in there. Ooh, Bushcraft family nailed a good one. Radiators.
Yeah. It's water in them.
Well, not only that, but the radiator itself, radiators are black. You get a bunch of radiators together, plumb them together, and now you got a heat source, for either solar heater or other ways for it to heat or cool air in for your house using, the eco-friendly stuff.
Yeah, the sun. Yeah.
CB says, pay attention to who has the good power tools in your area. You may need to know someone with a chainsaw in certain emergencies.
Yep. There's always one in the back of my pickup truck.
Tree service companies here in the United States, Davy Tree, and I can't remember the other. There are 3 of them that are really big like that.
That's on your side of the country. We got thousands on this side of the country.
Yeah. But I mean, these are the big, huge. You'll see them rolling down the street. You'll see like 20 of them from one company, and but they got the wood chippers on there, and they got their chainsaws, and they got rope, and they got cables, and they got chains. Not just chainsaw chains, but regular other chains.
Yeah, for pulling trees.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, chainsaws is a real good idea there, CB. Power tools, yeah. Chainsaws.
CB.
CB. Yeah.
Too many C's. ECR.
The Amish have all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. I got a lot of those farms, but I don't think I want to go strolling onto their farm. Not that I'm going to get shot, but I don't think I want to go strolling onto their farm after the crap hits a fan, because most of the families are probably still alive and living there and they need it.
Yeah.
Just that's where you want to develop a relationship with them beforehand.
Yeah.
That way it's like, all right, I got some stuff to barter with you here. I got all this bolts of materials from the fabric stores and stuff.
Yeah.
I got material for you to make clothes from. You got some food for me?
Yeah, I raided Joran Fabrics. Sorry, it's all spaceship material, but I can't see Amish people walking around with Mickey Mouse material on for dresses, although
the thing is, the fabric
that's all they got. That's what they'll use.
Hey, the fabric throws, the fabric stores also have big displays of dye. Your RIT dye for black, brown, green.
So I noticed something else when I was at a convenience store day before yesterday. A lot of these big gas station convenience stores, the chains, they have those. They're and I forget the name. It's like corrugated plastic for their signs, and they're like zip tied to the posts and stuff. Well, some of those things are like, I'd say like 36 inches wide or about a meter by a half a meter, and I don't care what's on it, but for patching up a hole in a wall or something like that, it's plastic. I mean, it's something firm, stable, whatever. And there's uses for that too. As I was watching a girl change them all out, and then she takes them all back and throws them in a dumpster. I'm like, I would thought about going grab, but they're all weird shapes. I'm like, okay, I have no use for that stuff right now, and I have no place to put it. So no, I'm not going to keep that cigarette ad and the vape ad signs sitting around for no reason. But even for putting around like a tree, you can rotate it around and put some rope on there to keep the deer from nibbling away at the bottom of it while it's growing. And just pop it off.
You can all those that corrugated sign stuff. You can also just screw it on the side of your chicken coop for insulation.
Yeah, makes great targets too. I mean, if you're into picking up bits of plastic out of the wood when you're done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 12-volt motors for the windshield wipers, for the seats, and the roll-up windows and stuff. A lot of stuff to salvage there for 12-volt motors, making all sorts of cool stuff. Including like one guy took a bunch of seat motors and stuff out, made himself a 12-volt turret controlled by his laptop, and he didn't say what he was putting on top of it, but we all knew what he was going to put on top of it because he had a little motor going like this, just fit inside of a trigger guard.
Yeah. Nice.
But it was going up, down, this, that way. It's like, and all controlled by his laptop.
Throw that little webcam right up against the scope, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cars. See what I'm saying? In cars, it's not just like the battery and the fuel and window motors. I mean, you literally have most engines have a serpentine belt with at least one idler pulley and one tensioner pulley. So if you need a belt to do something, get the pulleys in that. You just have to figure out how to secure it to wood or metal or something, so you can run your homemade windmill to pump water. Yep. I mean, you got the belts and stuff, and hell, there's a water pump on there. So if you want to play with that game, but that's a different. Most water pumps on a car, there's no way. You can only hook to one side of it, the suction side. The other side, or the blow, whichever side it is, the other side is like just ports that go right into the engine. So
but if you got a piece of steel plate, you can take care of that.
No, yeah, and you're good at welding if there's electricity in that. But there's just so many little things out there that nobody really pays attention to, except for people like you and me. That every time we see something, our mind goes, "Oh, I could use that at some point. Oh, I could use that at some point. Oh, I can use that. If I could use it, if I took everything that I thought I could use, I would need about 80 acres full of nothing but barns, and I'd probably forget everything I had until I needed it. Then it's like, nope, I got one of those. Give me a day or two to dig it out from behind everything else I got, but I know where it is."
Yes, Hebe. The local fire station is.
I think the local fire station is going to fall into the same category as the hospitals and the pharmacies. The people that work there are going to clear it out first.
Yep. People are running to the stores to buy everything, or not buy it, to steal everything out of the supermarkets and the Walmarts and that. Yeah, don't forget that most restaurants have number 10 cans of food in the back. If the power went out, it may smell pretty bad in there because all the stuff is rotten in the fridge. But a lot of them have canned goods and stuff, and even have like jugs of cooking oil. Not that you want to, you can cook with it if you wanted to, but I mean, Chinese restaurants use a ton of deep fry oil. Tons
Oh
of it.
yeah.
Or
CB.
Yeah. The
Those will be cleared out.
Yeah. Thing is with like the restaurants and stuff, if you happen to have a supply of propane or whatever, froze. Those stoves, those are some really good stoves in there, a lot better than the stoves we have in our homes.
And it depends on how, trust me, I'm in a lot of restaurants. Depends on how long that stove has been there and how disgusting it is, whether or not you want to. And they're big. You're not exactly going to like one person.
Oh yeah,
it's going to take
a couple people. But all right, my grandfather's catering company. Oh, every Saturday, that place got scrubbed top to bottom, steam clean, pressure washed.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Those stoves were immaculate.
Yeah, and that's one. It's the rest of them that.
There was a friend of mine back in California. I'm not going to give his last name. First name is Steve. He worked for the it's not the county, not really the county health department, but it's basically vector control, and so for vector control, they do all the health inspections of restaurants for cockroaches and rats and mice and stuff like that. He goes, you don't eat this one, you don't eat this one, you don't eat this. This one is actually absolutely so clean, you can eat off the floor in the kitchen. It's so clean.
Yeah.
And so, having someone with that type of knowledge is like amazing. Okay. Yeah. It was funny. That particular restaurant had 2 roach coaches as well. For those who know what a roach coach is, it's a food truck that go out and serve cook food from out there. Yeah, those 2 were inspected as well, and those things were absolutely immaculate too.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, if you see me walking out the door during lunchtime and I'm going next door to Wendy's, don't eat there. If you see me sitting down at a table, enjoying everything on the forks, knives, spoons, plates, and eating the food in there, oh, you're good, because I know everything that goes on in the backs of these places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, CB. Libraries would have prepper books, cookbooks, home repair books, gardening, medicine books. Yeah.
Unless it's all digital now, but yeah.
She also had the thing about the silcock keys.
Yeah. What are those?
The silcock keys?
Yeah.
Those are the funky little either cross or hex things. They have the different like the for the on the side of buildings they have.
Yeah, for the water pump, for the hoses. Yeah, I got one of those.
Yeah.
I carry one in my truck.
Yeah.
I use it all the time.
Oh, I'm getting ads again. Yay. Well, sorry, Diana, but I'm actually putting ads on my stuff again. Oh.
A silcock key? Yeah, it's got like 4 different size squares on it.
I'm holding it up right now.
That's assuming they're still running water.
Yeah. Well, things in big buildings and stuff, they have check valves, so their water system doesn't drain when the water line in the street breaks.
Yeah, but if you open up, just because you open a hose at the bottom, there's still check valves above it, or you'd have like 4,000 psi coming out at you from all the water above. That doesn't. They got check valves and float valves everywhere in those buildings, every floor. So water does not flow downhill, go back down with gravity. And they got pumps all over the place. That's
these are silcock keys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a simple one there to the standard ones with the different fittings on and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and you're not going to get in there with a pair of needle nose vice grips and try to grab that little square and turn it. It just won't work. You might get lucky with a 12-point socket, which I've done, but you need a 12-point socket.
Yeah. There we go. See? Yeah, that's how it works. My son was working for a security company part-time, and I don't see the one he had. There's the one my son had.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
He ain't taking any chances. He's got every size they needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something just to add to your preps now. If you're in a city, you want to have one or two of those.
Keep an eye out for ham radio towers on people's houses nearby for communications. Yeah, that's another good idea.
Yeah. And in pre-times, if you're thinking about getting a ham radio, go talk to the person. Say, hey, I'm interested. They'll be happy to introduce you to the instructors that teach you how to pass the test easy and teach you all the fun stuff you can do with ham radio, packet delivery, radio to radio emails.
Hey, Mike. Good to see you.
Mike's here.
Yeah, Mike's here.
My weird sense of humor just popped in. People make a comment and then they go and do the mic drop. Mic drop.
Hey, Gil.
Yeah.
You're fired.
I'm fired. I know. Hey, I'm sorry. I was channeling CR.
Apparently.
No problem, Mike. No problem.
Ooh, scouting land in Scotland.
Mike.
Oh, yeah.
He wants probably to move to Scotland because UK sucks.
Yeah.
Because it's more free. You can do a little bit more in Scotland than you can do in UK. So that's why.
Yeah, if we ever hit the lottery here, my wife and I want to take a trip there to Scotland. She's Clan Campbell. I'm Clan Patton from Ireland. We want to go visit ancestral homesteads.
Yeah, maybe I keep my antennas at the back of the house so you can't see unless I let you in. I have friends that attach them up to roofs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Travel agencies have paper maps. They usually do.
Yep. Unless you're with antennas, unless you have a lot of trees like I do here.
Ooh.
You can climb a tree. You can climb a tree, strip the top down, put your antenna way up there. Nobody will ever notice it. You just need long enough cable to get it to your radio.
Yeah.
Off-grid, totally looking. Found 2 options with river flowing through the lots. That's awesome, Mike.
River flowing through the lots, that gives you hydroelectric power.
I have a stream flowing through mine, but I don't have enough elevation change to get any power out of it.
Yeah.
But I can suck the water out and put it in my barrels and use it for stuff here at the cabin, which I'll be doing here in about a month or so.
Yeah, I think so. I got to find that winning lottery ticket laying on the ground that somebody dropped by accident.
Ooh, think of all the 7-Elevens you can go into after the crap hits the fan and get all those scratch offs. So you can scratch them off and say, "Look, I won $1 million." Nobody's around to cash it in.
Okay, now I'm going to shopping carts. Yeah, I'm going to get on the border here of it may or may not be hit right away. But if you have all your food and stuff, like everybody's hitting the grocery store, gold exchanges.
Yeah.
Pawn shops.
Depending on what kind of situation it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff's gone. Those people are not stupid.
Yeah.
So it's either locked in a safe, which you're never going to get open with your hand tools and your Leatherman. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. Yeah. And other than that, no, the good stuff goes with them. It's gone. I wouldn't even waste my time at a pawn shop. I mean, pawn shop, you're going to find used tools and DVDs and things, and they're probably junk. That's why they're in a pawn shop most of the time out front. All the good
But
stuff's in the back.
you also may find some good wind-up watches.
Sure.
So someone got some, because those that are, people don't want to buy those, but I've seen pawn shops where they had a nice collection of good pocket watches that were wind-up pocket watches.
I don't think I'm going to be too worried about telling what time it is if the crap hit the fan. The sun's up, I'm busy. The sun's down, I'm finishing being busy and going to sleep. And unless you're using your pocket watch with a dial to figure out which way is north, south, east, and west, in which case I'll just use my compass.
Oh, you also use a watch for a good watch for calculating and trajectory that's
Sure.
a whole nother. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, not high on my priority list right now. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Shopping carts may come in handy. CR says shopping carts are loud. Shopping carts, if you're dressed right, people are going to get away from you because they figure you got something that they don't want to get.
Yeah, and you load a lot of garbage. You have your real stuff in the bottom, and then you load a lot of garbage on top of that, and the sides, and the front, and the back. You're ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how many of these I have laying around the house here. I'm up to like 24 now.
Yeah. I'm usually within hand's reach of anything at this point.
Yeah.
But only because I buy it, I use it, I forget where I put it, I lose it, I stop at the truck stop, pick up another 2 or 3, use them, put them down. Eventually, there's so many laying around, I don't have to buy anymore. I'll just stumble upon them.
Yeah.
But not in the UK.
Ooh.
And UK Urban Prepper says, the panic on my mother-in-law's face when I pulled out a knife today to cut a tag off, had to explain it's legal EDC. Funny how many people don't know the law and are just scared into having nothing.
Are they allowed to
I agree with that.
Are they allowed to have like real scissors over there anymore? Or do they have to use those plastic kindergarten scissors now? That's all right. They'll make baseball bats illegal soon. They'll make baseballs and rocks illegal.
Yeah.
Fists will be illegal. Yeah.
CB says, old washer dryer drums to defeather chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you are going to eat the chickens.
Yeah. Processing chickens.
If it's just you and 1 or 2 people that you have to process, I don't think you're going to be processing all your chickens with no refrigeration, but 1 chicken at a time, I think you can dip it in hot water and just pluck the feathers off by hand and then do what you got to do and have dinner. Yeah. But drums,
UK Mike says, lol, we are allowed under 3-inch non-locking blade. Yeah. They are lucky. We are not even allowed to carry that.
Well, it's a blade. There's nothing for it to lock to.
It's under 3 inches.
It's under 3 inches. I can have all sorts of fun with that.
Yeah.
Probably illegal to have those too. Unless you have your certificate and your permit to score sheetrock.
Yeah. Oh, Snap-on tool trucks.
Yeah.
Mac tool trucks.
Yeah.
Loaded with tools.
Yeah.
Those Harbor Freight.
CB says washing machine drums can work as a fire pit too. I have seen those on YouTube who made fire pits from old washing machine drums.
Yeah, if you get
really
a washer
cool,
drum,
actually.
Yeah, you have the inner drum which has the holes in it. That's usually stainless, and then you have the outer drum which is solid except for the hole in for the drain. If you do that and put holes in the bottom of the outer drum, you wind up with a smokeless fire pit.
Yep.
Yep. That is really cool, actually.
Now I got to go find a used washer and make one of those. Thanks, CR.
No, that was
that was
CB.
CB. CBC. I keep
CB, not CR.
That's it. Mark, you're fired. I fired myself. I keep getting them confused.
Oh.
Look a bike pump. Yeah.
Yeah, bicycle pumps. Yep.
Mike asking, what's the topic? Sorry, I missed it. Lol. Well,
basically searching around and finding useful stuff on your normal days of travels and writing it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And keep mental inventory track of it. So in case something happens and you're like, oh my God, I need some tubing, I need some drain pipe, whatever. It's like, oh, there was some 2 miles away at this construction site that I saw right before the crap hit the fan on big spools. Let me go grab a couple 100 feet of that so I can run that water out of the pond or off my shed and way in the backyard and let that water come over so I can water my garden.
When
yes, potential resources here.
With this, I was thinking about mental inventory. I'm sorry, I'm over 60. Here's my mental inventory. I write it down.
Yeah.
This is my brain aid. Wait a minute, brain aid. That was your prep for the day. Number 1, brain aid.
I got about 9 months to start writing everything down because when I turn 60, it's gone.
Mike says, amazing how many factories will give you a tour if you ask them or explain it's for some sort of college degree. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good opportunity to research. Yeah.
Well, heck, up back in California, on the other side of the Carquinez Straits, we take the scouts up there every year. The Jelly Belly factory. They give tours. There's a lot of sugar there. There is a lot. There are tanker truck hoppers of sugar being delivered there.
Yeah,
that will definitely be sweet.
Is it real cane sugar or GMO sugar beet sugar or corn syrup or whatever?
Considering that, all right. So the Carquinez Strait runs east to west. Jelly Belly factory's up here. Down here at Hercules is the C&H sugar depot.
Yeah, but what kind of sugar? Is it cane sugar or is it GMO sugar beet sugar?
C&H is cane, 100% cane sugar.
Okay, well, there you go. Doesn't mean they get it from there, but you know.
Well, put it this way, trucking costs, they probably get it from there.
Yeah. There's no way to test it unless it's labeled Domino.
Yeah.
While the unwashed masses are hitting the supermarkets, I'll be looking at the distribution centers. When they move on to distribution, I'll be in factories that have their own canteens.
Yep. There's a lot of that
that's
too. Even like the big factories, assembly plants that assemble like big trucks and that. Most of them, if they're big enough, they have their own cafeteria that's staffed by cooks and things, and they have food supplies in the back. They also have, I don't know, things like pots and pans and other cooking utensils and equipment you might need.
Oh, I just thought of something here.
I keep giving you ideas. I got to stop that.
After Sam's Club, Costco, Home Depot, Lowe's, all those big places have been hit and stripped of their food. They got a bunch of those Rubbermaid garden sheds and stuff in there, and all the wire rack shelving, and all the other and other type of shelving stuff. Yeah, that'd be something to hit up so you can start, because you may think right now, all right, I got all my shelves are full, but if you're growing your own food and having to store more food to get through a full year, you're going to need more shelving. You're going to need more garden sheds for garden tools and stuff. The garden sheds can also make
assuming you have physical space and live on a property like yours or mine where we have that kind of space. But if you don't, I don't think you're going to be. I don't think Derelov's going to be running down to his Costco and getting those 5-foot by 12-foot wire shelving racks to put in his apartment. I don't think that shit's happening.
No, but I know someone else who's. I haven't seen her in here yet today, but she would love to have someone deliver some wire shelving to her apartment.
Yeah, I'm sure she doesn't have room for it either. But the good thing is some of that wire rack shelving. Yeah, you can bolt it to the side of your house, and it's like putting a cage up to keep people from coming through your windows.
Yeah.
Mike says, "Don't worry, Chef, about the idea." Chef, I think we will be salvaging from slightly different places, about 4,500 miles away, and a bit of a good pond.
Yeah, a little
other side of the pond.
I got a canoe. I'm coming.
Yeah, in that case, you have to go paddling for a long time.
Yeah, catch a tailwind.
All right,
it'll only take me 6 months.
Lifeboats are well stocked.
Yeah. Actually, they are well stocked.
Yeah. The thing about that too is houseboats.
Yeah.
People, you may decide, hey, we're going to go offshore here. We're out in the middle for a while till everybody has decreased the population, and then come back.
Go anchor off on one of those, not the tower windmills, but like the oil derricks out in the ocean out there. Yeah, they're self-contained too, and you can climb the ladder up there, and you're pretty much safe from any major storm thing, and as long as you can get your supplies up there with a rope.
And they have at least 30 days worth of food for the entire crew out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's assuming they didn't all get stuck out there and ate it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, self-storage. I thought about that because I go to a self-storage unit for my company. I have one, and but that's a crapshoot. What's in it? Most of these storage units have nothing but like furniture and just clothing and that. But it's a crapshoot. You don't know what's in it. You have to break into every single one of them to find something. Unlikely you're going to find any kind of food in most of them because they're kind of outside and not really rodent.
And you're not going to find somebody's stash of gold and silver.
You might, but I doubt it.
Not likely. Or you're not going to find the old gun safe that got moved out there because they couldn't get into it. You're not going to find that very often. That's very far and few between. Sea forts off our coast, cool.
No problem, dear love. No problem. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Yeah, regular bakeries. Yeah, CB, regular bakeries for a while, for short term will be, might be, something to get.
Flour, sugar, lard, stuff like that. Yep. That's before the mice get in there.
Yeah, specifically if they happen to be using lard or tallow.
Yeah, not fake shortening garbage stuff.
Oh, what was it? There's a burger company that has gone nationwide back to tallow.
Yeah. What a burger, or whatever it is out in California. Yeah.
Well, it's not that. That one. There's another one that isn't West Coast. It's East, mainly East Coast. Was doing big thing. We're going back to healthy tallow.
Yeah,
was their thing.
Mike says the guy opposite me was in his unit. He's a prepper or very keen archer. Good to know. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Amazing.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
But they also have rats. A lot of rats.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think
Mike,
you want to be
have
going
a question.
military bases. Yeah, that's a little
military bases have abundance.
I mentioned that earlier.
Is it too high risk?
Yeah, way too high. Yeah, the Mary Beth is right on that. It's at the feed stores have both pet food and grains for grains and oats for horses, cows, and stuff as well in bulk.
Yep, and seed.
And
bulk.
seed. Yep. Veterinary clinics for if you have to get if you know what's the proper medicines you need to get for your chickens, your goats, your cows, whatever.
Yeah.
Look, mousetraps.
Yeah, that's ER.
Yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about.
The
And actually, that is something to think about salvaging too. From when after they've cleaned the stores out of the food and stuff, that little aisle that has the mouse traps, the decon, and that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, urban prepper. This is not something that's like, oh, the crap's hitting the fan right now. Let me go out and start taking solar panels off of signs.
No.
I mean, you could, but most of us, we talked about earlier, most of us are already ready for stuff to some extent or mostly. So This is more like after the fact when everybody's done running around, they've all kind of wiped out everything. And you need supplies like a fair amount of time later. And depending on what's going on, like anything else. I mean, if it's a short-term, long-term, Tawaki, or just crap hit the fan in your region, then, it's a matter
Depends what you're going to do. But all right, let's say the event happens in September.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to be going out to in April and May doing.
Yeah.
When there's a whole lot less population out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Assuming you're still part of the living population at that point.
Well, unless something severe happens here, I'm going to be part of it for a couple of years without even have to do certain things.
Mike says 30 days, 90 days. What's a good benchmark?
Well, I would say when you know that there's no more law enforcement running around. There's no more emergency service.
And the gangs aren't coming for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's after, I don't want to use the term because the platform's getting picky about the term being used, after the big decrease of population.
Yeah.
Then you're going out and you're picking up stuff that's, that's going to help you in the long term. All right, Mike, take care.
Tastes like chicken. Junkyards for car parts. Yeah, that's another.
That's assuming you still have a car and fuel and everything else that you need to get running again.
Yeah.
And what really happened.
Well, you can find batteries that's still working.
Yeah.
Generally, at the junkyards and stuff, they pull the batteries and they
recycle them or they sell them. Yeah.
They recycle them, or they resell them.
That's what I was looking at, like new car lots, because hundreds of cars, they already stole the fuel out of them. And you just got to pop the hood and see if there's, depends on the car and where the battery's located. I know my work van, the battery's under my driver's seat. I mean, literally, it's not a lead acid. It's an advanced glass mat battery. And it's under my driver's seat. I'm like, that's just creepy, but what the heck was that?
Yeah. Cemeteries, groundkeepers, sheds with fuel and equipment. Yeah. If you need more garden equipment, you can find those on cemeteries.
Okay. My weird Halloween mind just went into overdrive on that one.
Yeah, I bet.
I was thinking funeral parlors, go in and just load up all the caskets and start stacking them out in your yard. People are going to go, nope, I ain't going there.
Yep. Oh, you can always set up your bug out location inside a mausoleum area where they have all the bodies are slid in their little slots and that. Not really, they're not really well insulated, but it's solid concrete for the most part.
Yeah. Hospitals and doctors will be stripped a bit, but keep eyes open for stray ambulances. Yeah. Those ambulances that are abandoned.
Oh, they will be cleaned out by the junkies the first 5 minutes after they've been abandoned.
Oh yeah, and ambulances don't carry much that the junkies want. I mean, bandages and stuff, sure, maybe some stuff.
If it's a good paramedic ambulance where they are trained to administer certain drugs and stuff, yeah,
Right.
they will be hitting them just for
Oh yeah,
a cheap thrill. All right, I'm mixing these things up. And, wow.
yeah. And
I taste colors.
Yeah, I taste colors.
What about universities and their equipment and their chemicals?
Yeah. Science departments, like tech schools and that. You got lumber, you got metal, you got cooking equipment, and sometimes food. Depends on the tech school. But universities, the science labs and that, they got all kinds of fun stuff, usually in the back rooms or locked away in cabinets. I don't know what, but because I never really thought about it.
Push aside the dead junkies to get supplies.
No. Right. That means you got to have you better have your Class A Tyvek self-contained to push those things away.
Like 3 pairs of latex gloves on top of each other to not touch it.
Universities can have a lot. Cafeteria, the research buildings would have stuff. And don't forget the hospitals, because they have a cafeteria as well.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem is at the universities, you're going to have a bunch of how do I put this?
Good to see
young
snowflakes turned survivalists, trying to grab everything there too.
I always have a rubber suit on hand. Don't worry. Do you have it packed in your backpack so you can just pull it on?
See these next one down there. The city dump. I'm sorry, I've worked around some of those. No,
I don't think I want to be anywhere near a dump.
The only thing I would take from the dump would be the fuel tank that's on the 5,000 gallon fuel tank that's on a skid, and the dozer.
So here's another fun one for you. So pretty much every car dealership and tire shop and other shops, they have piles of used tires. Most of them are probably no good. Some may be good. I'm not looking at it for the use of the tire on a vehicle, but you can stack tires up and dump dirt in it to make your
barrier,
security barrier or whatever. Yeah, recycling centers, that kind of a junkyard. Yeah, with that just gets scrap metal.
Yeah,
I pass one of those every day, and there's like the overhead cranes, like the whole entire assembly. They just drop it off in there and they just crush it up, but they're mostly just sitting there. And there's tubing, pipes, things. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in there. It's really that desperate.
That just made me think back to something else. All right, the community colleges that were in my county, they all had an arts building, and every one of the arts building had a room where they had a couple of kilns and
clay,
doing ceramic pots and stuff like that. Which means you could also melt aluminum and copper and other metals like that down into bars and ingots or whatever else you need to do.
Yeah, that's fine, but if the crap hit the fan, I don't think I'm going to be looking to fire up an electric kiln somewhere to melt aluminum cans into ingots when I'm still looking for food and stuff.
This is later. This is later on. It's like, okay, yeah, all right, we're starting to rebuild. Yeah, they had a gas powered kiln over there. We got the biogas there. Yeah, we can make a kiln, or even just some of them even had a regular old-fashioned forge in it.
Oh, there you go.
So they were actually teaching how to do horseshoeing at the community college. So they had coal, they had the forge, they had all the tools.
Yeah. What about the police stations for ammo or other things?
Generally, police stations do not stock a lot of ammo.
No.
Radios in the police station? Yeah.
Yeah, the radios.
Because those are, you can go try to get all those radios and stuff like that, because they're digital and they're harder for people to listen to on scanners.
Yep.
Yeah.
So on that note, look for a Ford dealership near a police station, or any Ford dealership for that matter. I can almost guarantee you there's at least some kind of law enforcement vehicle on the back lot waiting for a recall to be done every time. Yeah. They're always there. And inside them, yep, radios.
Or they're there to have body work done on them. Performing a pit maneuver.
Yeah, maybe. Those body shops are usually fenced in, but anyway, I know because works at the dealership.
Most of the police departments take them to dealerships, not body shops.
Yeah, I know that. Well, if your dealership has a body shop, the one I used to work at does not anymore. Yeah. But my buddy does all the recalls on these police Explorers, like 2 a day. So there's anywhere from 12 to 18 of these trucks, the Explorers parked out back at any given time. And they're there for anywhere from a week to 3 weeks, depending on parts availability. Yeah, churches.
Yeah, some do, some don't.
Yeah, I agree. Some have supplies and some don't have any supplies.
I can tell you this right now. LDS churches do not have supplies in them, other than paper goods. Because everybody brings the food for whatever event it is.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pull a CR. You can fire me. And if you walk into a church and you smell something, pew. Okay, I'm fired.
What about car impound lot then?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. The museums near me have everything for during and for rebuilding in case of EMP.
Cool.
That's cool.
Historical military museums, if they happen to have, I forget what the one. There's one down in Texas. The fat electrician and the other guy. They went down there and they had all these things on display, and in the back they had all the ones that they were refurbishing, all the diesel trucks, tanks, and everything else that had mechanical fuel injection.
Yeah, like I say, the other equipment they have in the military, they're non-functional. They make them non-functional.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, if you've wind up now, you got a deuce and a half or a 5-ton that's got an air starter on it and fuel.
Oh yeah, you just got to know how to deal with that stuff.
Yeah, it makes your salvaging a lot easier.
I just done a video on a bunker which is now a museum. All equipment is still working and maintained. That's awesome.
Same thing with the naval museums, like the Missouri, the Iowa, the Nevada battleships.
Yeah, all the equipment's like 30 years old and like brand new in there.
Uh-huh.
Hell, at that point, you don't get the equipment out of there. You move into the ship. That becomes your bunker.
Yeah, and you take it offshore a little bit and drop anchor.
Yeah, if you can get it to move, sure. Let the wind blow it out there and just cut the chains or cut the anchor holder.
Yeah. All right, here's one for you.
Yep.
Depending on when it happens, think about it. Give it some thought here for a minute. A cruise ship that is just getting loaded up, passengers aren't on there yet, and the event happens. All that food in those number 10 cans and stuff are on that ship.
Oh, they got fresh food on there too in the freezers and fridges, so you got to watch for that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff on there that could make you sick and hurt you.
Yeah, but that's you can bring a lot of people on board there and start turning the pools up topside into hydroponic gardens and
Yeah.
And then cut the ropes and bring it out. Just take it offshore a little bit to keep the unwanteds off, and you're good for probably a year or two out there before you get bored.
Yeah, but if you start bringing,
and liquor,
you hit the Lowe's, the Home Depots, the garden centers for all those pallets of potting mix and topsoil.
Yeah.
Got to be able to get it there. Got to be able to load it. If there's nobody around, good luck.
Yeah. That's why you take you make sure you fire up that Home Depot delivery truck with the forklift that attaches to the back of it and load it up.
Yeah.
No, but
Yes,
there are things to think about in Home Depot. You're gonna have to do a little more gardening, raise planter beds. Hit the Home Depot, the Lowe's, the garden centers for all the bags of potting mix and stuff. The seeds, all the seed displays, get all the seeds.
Boats may have fishing gear, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Some might have, but not all of them.
CB got fired for his comment. CR got got fired for his comment on CB. For real?
You're fired again.
What about military bases where ships are,
birth?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't bother.
Yeah,
I would just
bases are going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even go close. You know where it is. Just stay away.
Vanessa, I agree with you about that one.
Yeah, and here's the sad thing is, if the military base has on base housing, and they have enough food in the PX and everything else, that base could turn into a warlord's.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's the sad thing. So yeah, you want to avoid that.
Depends on how many personnel were on that base and if they're all still there or not.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if the families are living there on base housing and the base survived and the base is still secured, they're not going to go wandering off into the wasteland.
No.
They're going to stay there, and when they go wandering out, they're going to be wandering out in scavenging parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, with tanks and Hummers and armed people looking for stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Prisons or jails for provisions.
Nope. Just stay away from them. You don't know if any of the prisoners have broken out, whether they're turning that into their little kingdom there, what they're doing. The smart ones may try to fortify it and say, hey,
yeah. I mean, maybe like 20 years, like, what was it? The zombie show that was on TV, Walking Dead. Sure. That's what everybody's thinking about. It's like, oh, a prison. There's nobody there. Oh, yeah, except for the zombie prisoners that are still in their cages. But no.
Yeah, you don't. That's one I would avoid. Like the don't fire me for this. I would avoid that one like the plague.
Yeah, I agree with that, Vanessa. Risk versus rewards. Yeah.
The only thing dealing with a military base that might be advantageous is that if you are a really good farmer and stuff, and you got a group of really good farmers, and you're worried about raiders and stuff elsewhere, go to a white flag. Okay, we want to make you a deal. We get to move in. We start teaching your people how to garden. We set up and run the garden, the food production for you. You protect us. That might be the only thing that I might consider if I had a military base close by.
What about Alcatraz prison? If you can get there, get a little community going.
It's called the Rock for a reason.
Yeah.
There is hardly any soil there. It is a rock.
Public
Yeah.
pools may have a concession
So do
stand and pool
hotels.
shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, hotels have, if they have a pool, they got supplies in the back. I went over that on one of Joran's shows a while ago.
Yeah. It's one of those things too with any place with pools and stuff. It's like, okay, you're 6 months later or 3 months later. What's
Nobody's
the
been
shelf
taking
life?
care of that pool. Yeah.
What's the shelf life of those stuff in the concession stand if it hasn't been broken into already?
Right. I mean, cleaning chemicals and stuff in restaurants, sure, they're not going to go anytime soon. A lot of cleaning chemicals, quat-based stuff, they don't really expire for years.
Yeah.
Bleach and chlorine gas off, so you're kind of done with that.
Yeah.
He's not on next Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're just about done here anyway, right?
Technically, we should have another hour going here.
We do?
Usually we go for another hour.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, we usually do.
I got to get a fire going here because I'm starting to get chilly sitting on my porch here and the breeze is blowing, and I got to get something cooking for dinner. And
yeah,
I really haven't unpacked anything yet. I went right to the computer and hooked up everything so I can hop on the feed.
Yeah. One of the things, as far as I would look for too, to find a roundabout, is a big truck mechanic shop.
Yep.
Or dealership and stuff. Because, if it's where you're out there salvaging material, you're going to want a decent vehicle where you can go get the stuff. And you're going to want to be doing, if you're going to have the big stuff, you're going to be wanting a decent vehicle for it. Which means you're the big trucks stops and stuff like that have a lot of fuel and stuff, but then the truck dealerships have fuel tanks as well. They have all the oils. A truck engine takes gallons, not quarts, gallons of motor oil.
Here's my negative take on. We keep talking about getting a vehicle to do this and that. What are the roads going to be like? I don't care how big your truck is. There's going to be cars abandoned everywhere. There's going to be trees falling over roads. Bridges are out. And I'm looking for a vehicle at this point? Nah, probably not. Depends on the situation, what happened, and how long it's been. Roads don't get taken care of. Things grow in the roads, fall in the roads.
Roads don't deteriorate that fast if nobody's driving on them.
Yeah, but if nobody's driving on it, nobody's left to drive on it, but did something happen on the road? So all the roads are just permanently.
Well, that's where you get like a snow plow.
Yeah, okay. Big plow on the front of a train, maybe to move, car after car after car after car. You're going to spend more fuel and time trying to create a lane for yourself than.
But you got to look at what you want, you got to look at what you need, what you want. Is it worth getting it? Like it was mentioned, risk versus rewards.
Yeah, and logistics to get it.
Yeah, logistics to get it. How many people do you have in your group? Is your group growing or shrinking?
Yeah, and can you leave? How many people are staying behind to guard your stuff in case there's still roving gangs?
And if you have enough. And if your group is growing because people know, and the people around going, okay, crap, all right, I'm ready to work. Put me to work. We'll help out. Yeah, and you get people coming in to join in. Then your group's growing, and then you're going to need to get more supplies.
Well, trust is a huge thing at that point too. How much do you trust
primary
somebody
supplies
saying,
to get?
I want to help.
Yeah, primary supplies to get is going to be agricultural, food growing, small compact tractors, medium tractors, fuel supply for those. And there are people just usually, unless you're of that mindset, people ignore the Kubota, the Coyote, the Bobcat dealerships around. They just totally ignore them. And so you're gonna think, all right, you're gonna be needing to get stuff from those. You're gonna need to get the rotor tillers. You're gonna need to get everything you need to start growing food and stuff. And then you're going to come across the next stage. It's like, okay, we're producing enough food, more than enough food for the people we have. Now we need to grow other things like flax or hemp to make clothing, linen. Yeah, it's, in a Tawaki situation, you're looking at, 20, 30 years before factories start coming back. And in the meantime, you're going to be the one being looked to start being a producer of these things.
And then how close are you to that massive fuel depot that's still loaded to get the fuel? And there's so many facets to. Yeah. I was just looking at the generalized, not the 30 years from now. I mean, sure, 30 years, if you remember where that tubing was, where it is by then, depending on what happened. And it all depends on what happens and how many people are left and how bad the physical locality is. If it was storms come ripping through and trees are going down everywhere, you're kind of stuck on your own there and on foot to get out to stuff.
Yeah. Well, all right. The hemp I'm talking about for ropes, for fabric and stuff, not for the other stuff.
I don't think there'll be many druggies left after that. They're either going to be clean or gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, so like some of the places you're going to need to salvage from right away, besides food, is going to be wherever there's clothing or just material to make clothing.
That's where the logistics centers come into play for like Target and stuff like that. People are going in there after the food, not necessarily after the clothing, but then again, after they get all the food and stuff out, what do a lot of really bad people generally do? Light it on fire.
Yeah. And that's, you got your distribution centers way out in the middle of nowhere. There is a big distribution center in California, out on Highway 4, past Stockton, on the east side of Stockton, and there's hardly anything out there, but there is a big Amazon warehouse delivery, distribution center, a Walmart distribution center, FedEx, UPS, DHL, out there. No residents around there, but these things are way out there where the land is cheap, and they have able to get a lot of land and do stuff. So the distribution centers may be untouched because they're farther away from people than what people want to go to.
The logistics centers may have been taken over because that's a place I would think of. If I got enough supplies in there to last me a long time, and I got enough people, that 2.8 million square foot warehouse is mine.
Yeah, if you have the people, and they have enough food there. Oh, yep. Oh, the U.S. Foods distribution centers.
Sure.
Yeah.
All your food distributors.
Cisco distribution centers.
Yep, food distributors all around the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's big ones, little ones. There's all kinds of them. Yeah, and they all have store warehouses and.
Yeah. And most people here in the U.S., they see the Cisco truck going down the road. They don't know what it's for. They don't know that's food.
Aside from the fact it's got pictures of food and a chef on the back of it, usually.
Oh, no, the ones I've always seen out here in the West Coast, all it just says is Cisco.
Yeah, Cisco or U.S. Foods. Yeah.
Or U.S. Foods. No pictures of anything on it.
Yeah. The ones by me.
They don't want people to know what it is.
The smaller ones that go into cities and that. Oh no, they got pictures of like a table of food and a chef and people, and they got all the big murals on these trucks now to let the world know, hey, buy from us, we got the best stuff. It's advertising on wheels.
Yeah, but the big delivery trucks, they're just plain white trailers with the logo on it and the logo on the tractor pulling it.
I'm at 98%. Great. I got to unplug my computer now from the Jackery, which still has 88% life left on it. That'll get my lights for the night and tomorrow. I'm like surrounded. I'm out in the middle of the woods here. I'm surrounded by cables and electronic devices. How ironic. I got GoPros laying everywhere, 2 iPads, 2 cell phones, a Jackery, a laptop.
How many solar panels do you have out there?
I got 4 in use, and they're running my other power supply, which is under my feet here with a single 650 amp.
Are those 100 watters or? Yeah,
they're 4 in a row. They're from the Harbor Freight ones. So if they're 25 watts each, I got 4 on a thing. I have 4 watts. More in a box. It's still brand new in the box. Yeah. I haven't put those out yet. They'll probably go out this summer, and I need to add a couple more batteries to my my rolling power supply, or put them permanently somewhere and run the cables out to them.
Yeah. Oh, just this is a word to those listening. If you're setting up a solar system, have your batteries closer to the panels than somewhat closer, because you get more power loss through the DC current than you do AC current over distance. So it's you lose less power from your inverter to your wherever you're using it. If you're using AC, you lose less power there than you do running long DC extension cords from the batteries or from the solar panels to the.
Yeah, I got the cables on mine, and they run inside, so they're fairly long. I'm just not in the mood to drill a hole in the side of my cabin yet to run power out. Run a cable out, unless I put a box on there with a plug in.
Yeah,
and put it really close, which I might do because I got space in there. I just haven't gotten to that point yet. But all right, I'm gonna bail here a little early, but I'm cold, and I got shit I need to do around here. I've been sitting still for a little long.
No problem.
I keep looking around and standing up, going, I want to do that. I can't. I want to do that. I can't. No, I'm gonna go do it. So, all right, I will not see you next week. Good luck at the funeral, and sorry for all the losses in that. And I'll look forward to the next one.
I appreciate it.
All right. Yeah. I might see you a little later, Gil.
All righty.
All right. Have a good night, all.
Take care.
And CR, you're fired.
Yeah, Norfolk. I have a battery bank, a homemade one that is 4 foot by 4 foot, and it's just loaded with deep cycle batteries. I'm getting ready to cycle them out and put in ion lithium batteries in there. Yeah. When you open the lid up, the inverter is bolted to the lid.
Yeah.
So it's in the unit itself. Some of the weeds, exactly. You can also get books for depending here in the United States. There are books for each state of edible plants and stuff in your state. So you can get those. There's probably ones in other countries, where they have for their areas of stuff that you got to find out what plants are edible as well. When you're out driving around, like I said before, either
Hey, Selena, good to see you, man.
If you have someone driving with you, they can write stuff down. If you're driving by yourself, a little recorder here, so you're not having to fiddle with your cell phone. To turn this on, all I need to do is on the side is I just push the button up to record, turns it on and everything, and then I can say, "Oh yeah, we're out here on Highway 4, past Brentwood Road." They just put in a brand new rental equipment yard out here.
Yeah.
Or there's a new distribution center going in out here. Or they're putting in a brand new orchard out here. So there are things that when you look around for what they are, and if you're driving around your city in areas you normally don't drive around, keep an eye out for stuff. Corporation yards are amazing things for cities. You can get all sorts of cool things there, especially the aero boards, with the solar panels on them.
Yeah.
I love those things. Yeah, let's see what else. Other things. I already talked about universities. And universities is one of those things I'm kind of leery about, especially if the chemistry buildings, because you don't know what people have done stupid in there, and what chemicals have been mixed by the time you get there, and it could be full of poisonous gas you wander into, and you wander in, you're not wandering out.
I wouldn't take that risk.
Yeah.
Not without proper protection.
Testing equipment to test the air first before you go in.
Yeah.
Water sources, yes, exactly. Looking for water sources. Let's see if I can throw that up here real quick here. I'm going to throw up a little page here. Get it here. Martinez, Martinez City in California. Bring up the map. Come on, make it bigger. All right. I'm gonna have fun with this one here for you guys. So this is the initial one coming up for the city where my wife's currently living at. And let me blow it up here a little bit. You see all that blue?
Yeah. That's water.
All right, Mallard Reservoir. Avon is an oil refinery here, and these are their emergency water reservoirs for putting out fire. They're also stocked with fish. Let's go over here. Highway 680. Okay, down here towards Shell. Down towards Ace Hardware. That's Marina Vista. Now I want to go back up here. Jacob Boulevard. Come on, where's the road here? That's Shell Ave. Okay, here we go. There it is. So, they changed it to a cat truck stop. Moved in there. Okay, so Ace Hardware used to be right down here by the restaurant there. This reservoir here is the favorite fishing point for people in Martinez because it's clean water. It's stocked with trout.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely clean water. Let's see. Let me open and change it to the map view. Google Maps. So you can use Google Maps. You look around for things. Center Avenue. Nope. Oh, we're here on the side here. See if I can, and you can go into the computerized view here. Here we go, right here. Water tank.
Yep.
100,000 gallon water tank.
Oh, that's a lot of water.
It's up on the top of the hill. It provides water for this area here. Actually, a little bit more. All this area here, water comes from that water tank up on top of the hill right over here. And I know where the shutoff valves are.
Yeah.
Because that's my house in California.
Yeah.
With my big old shop in the back and everything else. But yeah, I know where all the water lines are there because I used to work construction. I learned where everything is. So use these things here. If you don't want to go out driving around looking for things, you can just go up here and you pull stuff up like this and start looking at stuff. And let's see. Oh, what else we have down here? Is it going to show it? Come on, show it. Campway Truck Accessory World. So campers, trailers, stuff like that. Recycling center, recycle it.
Yeah.
Other things, you just look around different things here. Well, what do we got here? We got TJ's Cafe. All right. We got Build Tech Inc. companies here. You start looking around at different things. A construction company, which means they got to have equipment there. Go ahead and get that out of the way there. And you start looking around at things to see what's in your area. Industrial lumber. Most people don't know about industrial lumber. Equipment rental company, Cresco Equipment Rental. Yes, they got a lot of equipment, rental equipment there.
Oh, yeah.
So just search
Definitely.
your area for what there is there. Oh, Contra Costa Electric. And you can't hardly see them from the road because they're built up above the Howell Road here. They got thick trees in front of it, and you got to drive up the driveway to get to it.
Yeah.
And so this is a warehouse of electrical components and stuff. You just start looking around and finding stuff that's in the area. Oh, motorsports. So this is the motorsports has the quads, the snowmobiles, stuff like that, motorcycles. You look around for stuff overhead views. It will show you stuff you can't see. Looking straight at it's like different things to figure out of, okay, what can I go salvaging here? What can I go salvaging there? And, oh, what do I see here? I see fuel tanks, fuel trucks. And so, yeah, you look around, find what things are around you, things to do, things to get from, and what you can do. Oh, what I mentioned earlier about the railroad line. So here is the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad line.
Yeah.
Highway 4. All right, we're going to zoom out here, and we're going to follow Highway 4, Franklin Golf Course. Okay, here's the railroad line up here. This railroad line here has a lot of coal on it, especially this here. It's a coal-fired electrical plant. Most people don't know about it, but there is a lot of spilt coal on that line. So yeah, you can use Google to search your area to find out what's around, what you can do, what you can find stuff here. So yeah. Or I had a 10-minute walk to an industrial estate nearby. It does like freezes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a lot of there are a lot of things besides, like Mark was saying, driving around and looking for things. You can actually start doing a search for things, and then get your paper map and just start marking where things are on it, and what you can find and stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Okay, CR. Hey, Tech Baby. Good to see you.
Yeah. I just thought of something here. Hang on.
Yeah.
I don't remember what
problem.
it was. Let's see if I can find it here. See if this is the right one here. Okay, filters, channel. I hate autocorrect.
Yeah, so do I.
Here we go. All right, I'm going to share another channel out here for you. I think you'll like this one. I'm not going to tell about it before I throw it up here. Suspicious Observers has changed their name to Space Weather News. He has another little channel called the Big Burb, where they've taken there we go, where they've taken a Suburban and they've turned it into a down off-grid, powered down, EMP-proof vehicle. It's got it's got a diesel engine in it with both an electric and air starter on it. A mechanical fuel injection instead of electric fuel injection. Yeah, they've worked it over. And so, so Big Burb is, you guys want to see about the possibilities. And so, they've got all the videos and all the work going on and all the things they've done to do it. So,
yeah. What about train yard for tools and metal? That can be tricky.
Yeah, it can be tricky. Where the tools are and stuff are going to be in the engine house, and the tools they have there. Let's see. So the wrenches they are like that big for nuts that big around.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you're this is the mechanic stuff there is on a totally different scale. The engine house for the engine motor, not the whole train engine, but the motor itself stuff. Yeah, it's going to be a diesel workshop, but it's like going to a Caterpillar workshop to work on a Caterpillar engine. It's on another scale than it is your normal car dealership engine. Working on it. Everything's big, different.
Yeah.
And so, it's prepping is a lifestyle, not something that needs need to plan for.
Yeah.
Yeah, prepping is a lifestyle, but in that lifestyle, you got to figure out what you're prepping for.
Exactly.
If you're on the East Coast of the United States, hurricanes. If you're over towards the Mississippi River, tornadoes. There's a lot of other things besides, but those are the major ones. California, earthquakes, wildfires.
Yeah. San Francisco, earthquakes.
Yeah. San Francisco, it's also going to be zombie apocalypse. Wait, they've already been inundated by the zombie apocalypse. Also, AKA homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notice if the local baseball field has a concession stand or lawn shed. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, so what's going to be in that concession stand or lawn shed? It's, is it something you need to? Is it worth the risk? People seeing you out there getting into it after everything's gone south, and is the stuff in there still going to be good?
Yeah.
Bear Grylls.
Yeah. I prep for things I've experienced, things that have happened in my area, or things with high probability. Yeah.
That's what you start with. And then you can go, expand upon it.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming up here. Well, I started today on my channel the security week for the little short your prep for today.
Yeah.
Next Sunday or Monday, not this coming Sunday or Monday, but next Sunday or Monday, I get into one of the topics is hang on. I want to do it right here. Is complete your base plan, which is the stuff you're planning for the basic stuff and what happens in your area. So, that will be actually that'll be next Sunday. That one's going to come out. Yeah, I got 500 some odd topics to go, and I got them planned out when I'm going to be doing the videos and dropping them.
Yeah. How far to go to these items and transport back to where you need it? Yeah.
Yep.
What about airport hubs?
Having worked Homeland Security a bit at the airports, you don't want to go anywhere near them.
No, I wouldn't.
Because all the Looney Tunes are going to be heading there.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, it's a long road into the airport and a long road out of the airport.
Yeah.
And somebody's probably going to, some groups are probably going to go in there and probably try to set up their little kingdom there.
Yeah, I agree, CB. Airports are usually big, maybe small, one that's nearby. Yeah.
Here's the interesting thing about small airports. Hang on here. Do I still got that there? No, I don't.
Yeah, that too, CB.
Bring it. Okay, good. Bring it back up Google Maps here. Okay. So let me share this again. Talk airports. Okay, so back. All right, Concord once again. So I'm going to, Martinez, where my wife is and stuff. So I'm going to zoom in right over. There it is. Oh, it's an airport. Guess what you're going to find there in the way of food? Nothing. That is a civilian aviation. There's 2 commuter flights in and out a day that are small commuter jobs. No commissary there for it. You pull up to the thing, you buy your ticket, they pull the plane up, you walk out on it, you go through the metal detectors, walk out onto the tarmac and up the stairs into the plane. So small airports like that aren't going to have any food or anything. They will have a fuel farm, if I can find it here. Where is the fuel farm at? Well, there's Sam's Club right next to it, but and actually the fuel farm on this one here really isn't much of a fuel. I think it's all underground here. Yeah, because there's the tanks. It's like a gas station. Everything's under. The tanks are underground. It's not like the bigger ones. So let's go to a bigger one here real quick here. And right, Oakland International Airport. All right, yeah, you got. Come on, where's the? All right, so here's the main terminals and stuff. That's cargo. Come on, where's the? Oh, here we go. Here's the main terminal. Terminal A, Terminal B. All right, so yeah, you're going to have some food commissary stuff here, but if you're looking for the fuel farm, there's the fuel farm. Yeah, and that's aviation fuel. Not much stuff you have is going to run on aviation fuel. So, yeah, and so you do find if you're here and you get in here and you happen to hit the commissary things down here on Terminal B over here, like Pete's Coffee or one of the other restaurants down here. So let's say let me pin that here, measure distance. So you just to get back to Doolittle Drive, you're looking at almost 1.5 miles as the crow flies, not as you have to carry stuff around the roadways and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, airports, having been there, inspecting them, testing TSA, testing Customs Border Protection, testing all that, no, it's another one that's like, nah. it's not going to be a place worth the risk of getting out to it, to what you're going to find there and try to bring back. And you're not going to be able to actually want to go there until a couple months after the event has totally been classified as an end of the world event. And by then, the gangs are probably going to be in there.
Yeah, probably. Take care, CR.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by.
Using Google Maps, Google Earth, and checking stuff out is one way of doing it besides driving around and looking. Now, granted, you're going to get a different view on the surface at something.
Yeah.
You may want to take a note, and then when you get home, Google map it, look down on it from above. Get a satellite view to see exactly if it's something worth looking for.
Yeah.
So, and there may be something you may find looking at the maps like, I never saw that there. Get the street address from it by clicking on it. Next time you go drive by and they're looking for, like, oh crap, that thing's back up there behind those trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, as much as the mental inventory, as much as people like to say, oh, I got a great mental acuity, write it down, make notes on your computer, on your phone, or record on your phone, or have a recorder. Make notes. Don't rely on your own mental acuity.
I agree, definitely.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget things.
Oh, yeah. It's easy to forget great ideas you have.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree, definitely. Yeah. Well, I'm 53 and I need to write things down to remember it.
I've been writing stuff down since 95. Wait a minute, I've been writing stuff down since 76 when I first started working for the campus police, because you can't remember everything when something happens. You need to write everything down for making a report. You can remember it all.
That's impossible to remember everything.
Daycare centers may have food, medical supplies. Yeah. Medical supplies are going to be a fancy first aid kit generally for daycare centers.
Yeah, a fancy first aid.
Food supplies. Goldfish, Cheerios.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not and fruit snacks. There's not going to be that much food there at a daycare center.
Movie theater would have food and possibly first aid kits. Yeah.
Small first aid kit generally. The food they have there. Boxes and cases of candy bars. Big old boxes of popcorn seed. Butter flavored canola oil for cooking the popcorn in. Hot dogs. Some are selling hot dogs now and stuff. Yeah, you're gonna have packages back in their refrigerator unit back there. I'm trying to think back, because for a while when I was out of high school, I worked at the Century Theater 21 in Concord for about a month and a half, and said, screw this. I'm sorry, I'm going to get a better job. But yeah, it was, they had hot dogs there, but it's like a couple upright freezers and an upright refrigerator that they pull the frozen food out, put it in the refrigerator to thaw out for doing the hot dogs and stuff. And they really don't have that much.
Yeah. Dentist would have medical supplies and maybe medicines. There is a tricky part. You need to get in because they will have good locks probably.
Dennis, Novocaine, nitrous oxide. Not really have they really don't have a lot of drugs there. Friend of mine, Kurt, I almost said his last name. There's a dentist, and I've known Kurt for 45 years.
Yeah.
I think he's looking to retire real soon here. And yeah, he doesn't have hardly anything there. He just has, he has the Novocaine, the injection Novocaine, the swab Novocaines, and the nitrous oxide. He may have a couple other things, but not very much of it because they, yeah.
What about child daycare centers?
We just mentioned that earlier. Not much food, basic first aid kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, daycares and movie theaters will have fire extinguishers. Yeah, if you need one.
Yeah, I wish I was that young, CB. I've known Kurt since 1978. 30 years. I'm more than 40 years, 50 years. Almost 50 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
No worries, CB. It happens.
Got stuck on cap locks. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. It happened to me.
But yeah, there are things to look around, folks, to see what's in your area. And sometimes when you're looking, you need to be thinking, okay, if this is a real government failing event, is it going to be federal government? Is it going to be federal? And well, I'm not sure your province.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what smaller over in Europe, what smaller, you got federal or country, province, counties, cities, whatever. What the breakup is, as far as governments in your area, what is going to collapse first? What's going to collapse last? Got to bail and make a spider homeless of my camera. Keep setting it off.
That is another good idea to do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing too. When I showed the Oakland airport, I took it out to Hagenberger Road. Doolittle. You're going out Hagenberger Road to Doolittle. From Doolittle, the next major one over is Interstate 880. The next major one after that is East 14th Street, also known as, they just changed the name of it, trying to get away from the stigma of East 14th Street. I wouldn't go down East 14th Street in a disaster unless I had 6 Abrams and a bunch of MRAPs with me. That will be there will be a war zone.
Yeah, definitely. Take care, Norfolk.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
The other thing you need to look for too, on the maps, places that when people aren't around are going to go boom.
Yeah.
Oil refineries, chemical plants, chemical recycling plants, disposal hazmat material disposal sites. Nobody's around. Nobody's there keeping things on check. Things can go boom. Sewer treatment plants. Nobody's there. And all the sewers flow into there. Guess what? There's going to be problems.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing with knowing where exits are. Active shooter. It doesn't need to be SHTF. It can just be an active shooter. You need to know where to run to and hide.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. Let me think. Gas depots, not gas station, gas depots. Because somebody's going to do something stupid at a gas depot. That's where the big tankers pull in to fill up the local gas stations. Someone's going to do something stupid there and take a couple 5-gallon buckets, pull down the big hose, and open it up, and not realize that fuel's going to come pouring out of there at 5 gallons a minute or more. It's like all of a sudden there's gas flowing all over the place, and if they don't shut it off, that gas is just going to keep flowing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. At least I like what's going on in California for most of the landfills. What gets brought in gets compacted and covered with a layer of a 4-inch layer of dirt. Then they bring more stuff in on top of that, another 4-inch layer of dirt, and they do it daily. They try to cover it up daily, and they run 24/7. Go back to government. So governments. If all governments fails, what's the first government to come back? Your local government.
Yeah.
Because it's small. It's people that live in the town. And most likely it's probably not going to completely collapse. If you're in a big city like Los Angeles, Stockholm, it may have departments that totally collapse and implode.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be coming back first before the national government will.
Yeah.
And here, from cities, from towns to cities to counties, and so you'll have areas like in California, you have some areas that'll come back, other areas, no, it's going to burn, and that's it. It's just going to burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're away from home and it happens, that's a whole nother ball of wax. And with what Mark was saying originally when he proposed this, driving around, you should, and using, like I said, using Google Maps, you should find alternative routes for getting home. If you drive to work, driving to get home. Walking if you can't drive because the roads get blocked or whatever. And if you're really worried about it, they make these real cool things. They fold up and fit in your trunk called a collapsible bicycle.
Yeah.
You pull it out and you make sure you are well practiced on your bicycle and your legs are in shape so you can pedal fast when you need to pedal fast.
Yeah. I don't know what my local governments will do to maintain power in a collapse. I hope to be far away if it happens.
Yeah. Most city governments, at least here in the U.S., small cities, or in those small cities, all they're going to be doing, for the most part, is organizing citizens. Because no power, all right, the city government's not going to be able to dictate, all right, we're passing a bill that the power has to come back on. No, ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
So they're going to be organizing the citizens to help the citizens. If they have a police department, if the officers live in the city,
Yeah.
They'll be being able to enforce certain laws and stuff. Courts are going to be, the legal system is going to be Wild West. It's not going to be, all right, your trial date is set 9 months from today. No, your trial date is day after tomorrow. It's going to be, all right, 20 people saw you do this. Yeah, you're guilty. Boom.
Yeah.
And penalties are going to be heavy, just like the Old West.
Yeah.
You got, back in the Old West, stealing someone's horse was a hanging offense. Here, stealing someone's car is going to be a hanging offense.
Yeah.
So you got, so when we're talking about salvaging stuff, you got to be careful.
Oh, yeah.
Because once local government starts coming back in, that's going to be a problem. And you're going to have vigilante groups too.
Definitely. Marauders.
Yeah. So what you going to all right. Okay. I remember CB. I remember that email you sent me about your pumping station for your cul-de-sac. I was looking at it earlier again. All right. So, if you are remember, all right. First thing to remember in construction, the saying in construction: paydays every Thursday, and poop flows downhill. So, and of course, people are going to flush stupid things during disasters. So you're not going to have the sanitation district or sanitation company out there fixing stuff that you never know is going wrong all the time.
And those pipes, sewer pipes, will be clogged basically.
Yes.
Because people put things that should not be there.
Flushable wipes are not really flushable. I've seen so many sewer companies and pumping companies putting out videos. Yeah, we got called out to this house and just sold and stuff, and they go to pull out, and they're wondering why the sewer's not running right. And they dig up the line, and it's plugged solid of flushable wipes. So sewers and stuff, toilets and everything else. If you're uphill, like right now, my house is the second to the last line on the second to last house on the sewer line. No, actually, no, mine is the last house. My daughter's across the street is the second to last. So our sewer flows down to everybody else. But you also need to be polite about stuff. When it comes to sewer stuff, we've talked about it. I've done live streams on it. You can't count on sewer lines flowing. You can count on them backing up. You can count on other people trying to keep flushing stuff when they have no business flushing stuff. And so, yeah, you're going to be going to what happens. And that's one of the things is every house I have owned is uphill on the sewer line. There are manhole barrels and manhole lids downstream from my house. Just looking at stuff here. Yeah. Yeah. What Took by V said there about the his Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
No faith in the government. If you don't have faith in your government now, your city government now, you need to get involved in it, going to the meetings and making sure everybody else knows what goes on. It's like for our city council meetings here for the last 3-4 years, I've been videotaping the meetings and putting it on YouTube, and then putting the link on the local Facebook page so everybody can watch it. And yeah, and we had the previous mayor was not reputable in my opinion, and he's out. We got more reputable people in there. All the bad finances have been coming to light. So yeah, we're because I was shining so much light on what was going on here, people have left.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things is, and when city government's trying to come back after a big event, there's going to be a lot more spotlight on the city councils and than there were ever before, and a lot more people showed up at city council meetings, and so there may be sudden changes in members of the city council.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you got to watch. So even though all rule of law has ended, it ain't gone. It's just taking a short hiatus until it can be reestablished again. And yeah, you're gonna have committee vigilante committees forming. You're gonna have Wild West law enforcement.
Yeah. Not really nice.
Yes, there will be a lot more stray dogs, and stray dogs will form packs. Packs become dangerous and vicious. Packs will attack people. So
definitely.
Yeah.
So try to stay out of their way too.
Yeah. So just as a final thing, it was wrapping it up here. When SHTF Milwaukee happens, I'm not going anywhere unarmed. Yeah,
I agree. I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah, and for those of you that have prohibitions of owning pew-pews, if you can own bows and arrows.
Yep. Hey, Kaylin. Good to see you, man.
Hey, Kaylin. Yeah, so nothing next week for you.
No.
All right.
But when I get back home, it will be a live stream.
Okay.
I just need to figure out what kind of topic for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, CB, you got that right. And once again, for that, I would like to thank what CB posted there last. I'd like to thank the British royalty for deciding not to post British royal troops everywhere in their empire and arming their citizens to take care of the dealing with native problems.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that will be nice.
Oh, I almost forgot something here.
Okay. What did you forgot?
So my live stream coming up here. Where is it? Great, it's not showing me it. All right, give me a second here.
Yeah, no problem.
It's the topic for the at 8 p.m. Eastern time here is after the medicines are gone, what are your plans? And hang on, I got to do this right. Sorry. Control C. I'm going to post the link here. That's in 2 hours from now. See, and drop that down. So there's the link for the one starts in 2 hours from now. Put it on both sides there.
Yeah.
And so tonight's one's going to be a little bit walking on tippy toes, because the platform hates anybody talking about medicines, giving advice. We're not going to be giving any advice on mine. We're just going to be talking about in code. About things you can do and stuff like that. And CB point put it out. Learn medicinals. Yeah, do it yourself. So that's what's coming up here for later this afternoon.
Yeah.
All righty. I think we're actually going to get done on time.
Yeah, actually. So I think it's time to wrap things up anyway. So, yeah, it's time for that. As I mentioned, no live stream next week, Saturday, because I'm in Gothenburg and I have a lot of things I need to get back up here. So I will not be able to take my computer with me. So there will be not room for that one. And besides, I have things to do that Saturday and anyway. So it probably things me and my brother needs to take care of as well. So when I get back home, I will be back home on the Monday morning the week after. So that week, when I am back home, that Saturday will be another live stream. So hopefully I will be back on track again.
Yep.
Thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thank you, Gil, for stopping by as well. Always nice to see you and have you on panel.
All right, everyone.
Good night.
Catch you later.
Sweet dreams. Catch you later.